Welcome, Ultras, Switchy Sisters, and Danonites alike to episode 60 of the weekly episodic gaming adjacent live stream podcast show. This is Switch to Ultra on Tuesdays for at least a few more weeks. And last week, while we were braving through the storm, I shared my personal experience with how much I played more of Super Mario Sunshine, and as I grew to hate that game ever more, but finished it for the 1000 stream so I would never, ever have to play Super Mario Sunshine again. And then, like magic, between the weeks, it only took them a year, somehow, Mario Sunshine returned. I'm your co-parent BHultra.
And I'm your co-parent Switchy.
And I'm your Funkle Dan.
And the three of us here, we often have overlapping interests. I mean, that's why the episode that people were filing in for, so we could talk about those total drama leaks, were all described as different total drama guys. But we also have differing interests. And I like to think, I think a part of the reason why I started the show is to cover my blind spots. You know, I'm trying to keep up with everything. I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone and play games that I otherwise wouldn't have played and try new things. Not only between weeks did we see the official release of the Switch 2 edition of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, but also earlier today, we saw a Nintendo Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave Direct. Now, have either of you had the opportunity to watch this Direct? It's only about 20 minutes.
Yes.
Okay, good. Well, thank God.
No, I'm
wiping the sweat from my brow right now. Oh, man, I had nothing to say about this. But
I saw the tweet, I saw like the announcement, I was like, oh, they are not like looking forward to this. They are dreading this shit.
I mean, listen, I want to learn. I want to see what's going on. I've seen a handful of things. Really, the only thing I recognize is a character that shows up later, but just going through it right now, what are the initial thoughts? If from a Fire Emblem fan's perspective, are we gaining something additional? Is there like an exciting selling point specific to this game that comes out in only a matter of months?
Honestly, I'm honestly not that excited, as much as I hate to say.
Okay.
Like,
Really?
I don't know. I think the biggest thing is that, okay, so I really like Fire Emblem Three Houses, although I don't know what I would think about it if I played it today, because it did come out 7 years ago.
That's
oh God,
nuts
wait,
to
was it?
think
Yeah,
about.
it was 7 years
like
ago.
2019, 2018,
Oh my
yeah.
2019, yeah, would have been 2019. So like, and when that game came out, I mean, for me, it was a huge course correction in Fire Emblem, because Awakening was very much a stepping stone game for them, because they made it under the impression that it could very well be the last Fire Emblem game. So in some ways they tried a lot of new stuff, but in other ways they sort of played the hits, because you know the game Awakening takes place in the same universe as like Marth and stuff.
Yeah.
But it also really, well, first of all, I mean, technically Awakening wasn't the first game to have the casual no permadeath mode, but in a lot of ways it effectively was. At least in the sense that it was a game that got, like, I don't know. I mean, if you guys were like Nintendo YouTubers or watched Nintendo YouTubers in 2012, you probably heard a lot of people gassing up Awakening, because I think for the time it was a new and exciting game for Nintendo to like be associated with Nintendo. I think in a lot of ways it was Nintendo sort of stepping into the 21st century with like, I think its voice direction, its art direction, just stuff like that. And for a franchise like Fire Emblem, which had struggled so much since the GBA days, really.
I mean, it took until Smash Ultimate for Marth to have an English voice. Like, they just used Japanese dub for all the previous Smash games. That I do know.
Yeah, like, and I think in general, Awakening was Fire Emblem sort of converging on like a modern direction, I would say. And then Fates came out a couple years later, and Fates, I think, it was the same engine as Awakening, very similar visual direction. People hated it.
Oh, interesting.
Well,
was Fates on the
I mean,
3DS?
Fates on the 3DS. It was also the first Fire Emblem. Well, there's certainly some exceptions. It was the first Fire Emblem game to really announce branching paths. I mean, there were some games before that had like extra chapters, certain decisions you can make, but
that's what I wanted to ask as well, because all I had known is like the secondhand stuff I've heard about Three Houses, this direct, and then maybe like the GBA one with Roy that I played a while ago. So the branching, the multiple story thing is not just a Three Houses thing, right?
No, I mean, okay. I like. It's funny. The original, I think, Japanese or at least translation of the Japanese name of Fates was Fire Emblem If. I guess kind of because like I guess
what
if I did this, if I did that, I suppose.
It's a reference to that
I should say
John
there, I mean,
movie where he's in the
I will say that there
friends.
there are technically some Fire Emblem games before that had something similar. Fire Emblem Sacred Stones has a few chapters where you can either, on your campaign, play as one of the two protagonists as they kind of split up and converge later on in the story. So there's been stuff like that in the past, but Fire Emblem Fates was definitely a new direction where they marketed the game as 2 or actually 3 individual games.
Okay.
Kind of doing a Pokemon thing. I mean, that was a common comparison and somewhat complaint. I shouldn't say everyone hated the new Fire Emblem Fates. I think I don't remember how critics thought of it, but it was like fans definitely took a lot of issues with the story, and I think among my friends, people I know, the general consensus about Fire Emblem Fates is that it's kind of a bullshit story.
Okay.
Narratively, it's kind of stupid, but like Conquest specifically has some really cool gameplay, and I would agree with that.
Oh no, go ahead.
Oh well, and what one of the things about I think Awakening and Fate specifically is that as I said earlier, it was very much Fire Emblem sort of stepping into the 21st century, and in some ways that's good, in some ways that's bad. I think one of the biggest criticisms you would see among older Fire Emblem fans, well, there's a couple. I mean, one is that the game was kind of becoming more casual and sort of more MMO-ish in the way that there's like a big emphasis on like min-maxing and shit, and there's not as much resource management as you would find in the old games, because one of the biggest changes in Sacred Stones had this, but one of the big things about old Fire Emblem that's not available in new Fire Emblem is that newer Fire Emblem games, with a couple exceptions, you have like a world map that you can fight enemies on endlessly and get as much experience as you want. You can grind. But in older Fire Emblem games, you can't really do that. Like, there's only so many enemies you can kill. So especially on hard modes, one of the biggest challenges in Fire Emblem older games is trying to distribute the possible experience you can get as best as possible, because if you don't kill enough of the enemies that you see, or you don't train your weaker characters enough, like, you're fucked. And so a lot of this stuff kind of was either taken back or changed. You can say softened, you could also say modernized, in Awakening and Fates. And Fates got a little egregious because they just had a mode where your units just can't die. So, and as a kid, I was like an elitist about that. I found that really annoying, just because I think it did shape the community for Fire Emblem in a certain way. Which, I mean, there's a whole lot of discussion to be had about accessibility and difficulty. That's not really the point. I will say, all this is kind of priming me for what would eventually become Fire Emblem Three Houses. There was also a remake on the way of Gaiden, which I think was pretty good. But then Three Houses came out, and I think it was Fire Emblem in a new form, all new. I mean, in some ways you could say Three Houses is the 21st century game. It was another big leap for the franchise. And one of the things that I think it did really well is that it was better written. I think it was more narratively ballsy than like Awakening and Fates. Because honestly, Awakening and Fates, they're nostalgic games for me, but they're a little bit simple in terms of like the writing and the characters, especially. Like, think you guys will know what I'm talking about. Like, imagine like the cast of Fates, Fire Emblem Fates, is sort of like the cast of Pacateo Island.
Right.
Like, in the sense that there's more of an effort, I think, that kind of came up in those games to make each character a lot more distinct and memorable. And in some ways that's good, but in a lot of ways it's sort of just having characters with like a one-note joke. So there was like literally a character in that game whose like defining characteristic is that he's obsessed with pickles. He thinks pickles are tasty.
That rules.
Like it's like it's
That's
shit
awesome.
like
Wait,
that.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I was getting
but yeah.
roasted in the server the other day because for dinner I just had a big thing of pickles because that's all I had left in the house. I'm running on empty right now.
Dude, I've been turned on to pickles. Pickles are pretty good, so maybe I'll change my mind on
The
this
thing
character.
is that like normally if you feel very strongly about something and somebody doesn't like that thing, then there's an aversion there. But I love being around people who don't like pickles because then you go to a restaurant with them and they know I'm the resident pickle guy now. Now they'll pass them off on me. Yeah,
they hook you up, bro.
Every friend group got the one pickle guy.
But so I think Three Houses was in a lot of ways sort of a. It was a lot. Well, I don't know. I'm gonna be totally honest. I haven't played the really early Fire Emblem games. So the earliest one I've played is Fire Emblem 6. I haven't played 5 and before that.
All right, which one?
Which one is 6?
6 is the one with Roy. That was the first Game Boy Advance one.
Okay, the first.
But I think I played like every.
One, right?
Yeah. Oh no, the first translated one was Fire Emblem 7. So Fire Emblem 6 came out, and then I think because of Melee, that's when they made Fire. That's why they decided to bring Fire Emblem 7 to the U.S.
Well, earlier this year when we were cutting the roster, I was very specific about like, okay, I think we should keep Marth and we should keep Robin, because what I knew about the series was that Marth was in the first game and is ostensibly like the mascot and shows up in later games as well, and sometimes is mythologized in said games, and Robin is from Awakening, which, I mean, to your point exactly, was not only, I guess, celebrated as a really good game, but also, to my understanding, the game that got a lot of people into Fire Emblem for the first time. Like, there's something to be said about the GBA games being the first ones that were actually translated, but I think the 3DS one is the first one that, like, made it a super popular series, at least outside of Japan. That is what I had heard.
Pretty much. I mean, I just looked it up because I wanted to make sure, but I was assuming this. It's funny, Three Houses sold more than Awakening, which honestly that makes sense to me just because of how much bigger the Switch is.
Nintendo Switch, right?
No, I'm just like trying to think. I'm trying to like make sure the perspective of my narrative makes sense because, like Awakening, I think Awakening, because it was shiny and new and something sort of unprecedented, it got a lot of special attention compared to and because of that, it's still seen as like the big step, even though I think Fate's like objectively made more money or sold more, but Fate's added like the hub world, more Persona-esque cutscenes, play with your expectations a little bit. And I think they did it really well with Three Houses because there's no one who really debates about the ethics of like which kingdom was in the right in Fates, because in Fates the main two kingdoms are Hoshido and Nor, and like they're at war and you decide which kingdom you want to fight for. Fates, there's 3 main kingdoms, and you pick you're Byleth, but you pick one of the 3 lords to kind of like sort of chill out with, and eventually you have to side with them in like an oncoming war that happens after the time skip, which isn't a spoiler at this point, but they kind of kept that close to their chest when the game first came out. Did I say the Three Houses? Three houses.
Yeah, I mean that's why I assume it's called Three Houses, is because of the Is the idea that there's 3 different endings then, and there's like 3 paths you can take?
Technically, there's like 4, I think. Basically, at the beginning of the game, you side with you don't officially side. You work at a school, and there's 3 it's like a prestigious like religious school, sort of run by this kind of church center that in a lot of ways is I wouldn't say it's a critique of like the Vatican, but it kind of has like a similar role to the Vatican in that.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like the school I went to as a kid.
Well, no, not really, because this is kind of an organization that exists separate from like the countries it's around. So it's like but it's also sort of like how medieval kings would, at least pre-Reformation, they would like look to the Pope for legitimacy. It has this kind of like both religious and supranational, or is it supranational? I think supranational kind of like authority. And because of that, there's like 3 houses. Each one is for each of the 3 main countries, and you kind of like decide to teach one of the 3, and based on which one you teach in the second half of the game, once the war breaks out, that's basically the side that you kind of fight for. And what I will say about Three Houses, that one of the things I really liked about it is that they didn't like fuck around or they weren't shy with like the serious, I don't want to say political, because I think sometimes that word is misused, but they play hardball with like war and consequences and killing and murder. Like I would say in a lot of ways it's a lot more darker and more serious than a lot of previous games. I think partially that's also because like the characters you're killing in Three Houses are characters that could have been your friends. In a lot of older games, you're just killing like NPCs that don't really have much of a personality. So that really shapes, I think, the way it works. And the decisions that the lords make in Three Houses aren't like, they're not pretty. Like it's, I like that. It's a game with a surprising amount of lore, and a lot of, I would say, interesting narrative beats. There are things I'd complain about. And also there's something to be said that in order to play all the routes and really like quote unquote understand the story, you have to play it 4 times. And each time you play it, it's like 50 hours. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I'm like not really looking forward to this game, because I think it's going to be a similar situation, even if it's good. Because I think Three Houses is pretty good.
What I wanted to ask, like in Three Houses, you're always playing as Byleth. Like I know you have like a squad, but Byleth is the protagonist. It seems like, if I can jump back a little bit, the selling point of this, and maybe I go back a little bit farther, or was it here? Yeah, it was like here actually. What they're selling is the 4 different paths, that there are 4 protagonists that are happening concurrently. These 4 characters that all, I guess, specifying a different weapon. And then what it says down here is that you could play all 4 stories in parallel. So sort of like GTA 5 jumping between them. So I wonder if it's going to be there's 4 distinct endings that you need to replay for, or if you can do them all at once and they all follow different stories. Because it seems like the characters might not interact with all the footage we saw before. Does that make any substantial difference from the previous game?
It would, because in Three Houses, you can't like jump between routes, really. I mean, I guess theoretically you could make different save files, but normally I think the way you're kind of intended to play the game is play one route and then start over and also get your like pretty New Game Plus bonuses and stuff like that. And you can't really do, and you don't really get those benefits if you just kind of make a fresh new save each time.
Do Fire Emblem protagonists hone one craft and one weapon, or are you able to switch what they prioritize?
Depends on the game.
Okay.
In a lot of the older games, like you're just kind of locked to like swords, and then when you like upgrade your class, you might get like swords and lances or whatever. But like later games added things like reclassing, where you can kind of just change from like a swordsman to like a mage or whatever. And I think Three Houses, I forget exactly how it works, but effectively, like you start out being able to basically use any weapon, but I think some of the later classes you actually can use fewer weapons, but you use them a lot better and you get much better benefits. I forget exactly how it works, but it depends on the game. That's basically it. But usually like you're not usually able to, I would say there's usually systems within the game that make you want to kind of focus on specific weapons for each character and not just like you have one of everything. Whether that's like inventory size or just like skills that give you bonuses for only certain weapons and stuff like that.
Because in this section of the direct, after it pinpoints the 4 different stories, it then goes over the classes of swords, gauntlets, spears, and axes. And that's what I had always heard, because obviously, you know, like having not played a proper Fire Emblem game, everything I know about Fire Emblem comes from the context of Smash Bros. I popped to myself, but you were talking, I didn't want to interrupt it, but I saw the Levin sword later in the direct, and I was like, oh, I know that's Robin's sword. I know this one. On what I had heard from both Fire Emblem detractors and Fire Emblem fans is the abundance of Fire Emblem protagonists in Smash Bros. Is more aggravated by the fact that they keep choosing sword wielders instead of the other characters. I've seen people advocate for the Black Knight, for Lyn, and for Hector, and Hector is like an axe user guy, and out of the, was it 8 or 9 Fire Emblem characters in Smash Bros., none of them utilize the axe attacks. Byleth gets into the spear a little bit, but it seems like there's those 4 weapon classes. But then it's sort of, there's an asterisk there where bows is its own thing and magic, and then later on there, oh yeah, there's the Levin sword right there. Later on it says bonus, and it just seems like that's everything else that doesn't entail to that. But it also seems like a lot of this stuff, a part of the bonus, a part of the selling point of this game, I don't know if it's been in previous games, is combining weapons. Later on in the trailer, they show the combination of magic and spears and stuff like that. Is that new, or has that been a mechanic in this series?
Can you get to the clip?
Yeah, let me try to find it. Let me jump ahead a little bit. Oh, by the way, hold on. Where is it? Look, Dan, the Dragoon is in this game.
Yo, it all comes back to
There's a
Kirby.
little
Let's
Air
go.
Riders
Let's
bit
go.
for you, yeah. Let me see if
The only bit of Fire Emblem stuff that I know outside of Smash Bros. Is, I don't know if you ever played WarioWare Get It Together.
Which one is that?
There's a mini game. There was a mini game or a micro game in that one that was literally just like choosing a dialogue path, and I thought that was pretty fun.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that seems to be what the game is for the most part. Or maybe it's an oversimplification, but let me try and find this. Is it around here? No, may have been earlier. Quests, Temple Run. It's called Temple Run? Is that what that said? Oh, Temple Row. Okay.
Okay.
Damn.
I also saw a lot
If
of clips
only.
of this, the Elephant Rider. That just
Dude,
straight
the
up
Elephant
runs through
Rider looks
everything.
kind of chill. I
right
think that
before
might be
the
the
Dragoon, yeah.
By the way, Sedith, that character you just saw, the that's a character from Fire Emblem 3.
Oh yeah, I heard people talk about that too. Oh, it seems like you can put different points in different stats. So what I saw people popping off for Sedith. What is the deal with that?
So Sedith was just a character in Three Houses. But he was I guess I would say it's like low key not it's like a spoiler that's low key not a spoiler.
Okay.
But he has like dragon blood, so I think he just lives a lot longer than most people. So that's why I assume he's
see.
still alive. But I'm sure there's some other lore of why he's there and stuff.
They show off a date early on into this direct. Is that like close in proximity to the previous game, or are they supposed to take place like?
I forgot. I should have googled that. I assume this game
says-
takes place like 1,000 years later.
Yeah, it
is
says 1449 in this game.
A sequel.
Plays Arts. I'm trying to find this bit.
Okay, let's see.
The offensive, is it here? I will say the other clip I have seen a lot, if I could find that as well.
Yeah, okay, so
bows and-
Three Houses, at least according to this guy on Twitter, Three Houses takes place like 1180 to 1185. Fortune's Weave takes place like 1440, so it's like 300 years later.
Mm-hmm. The
so
clip
like,
I have seen shared around the most is getting into these weapons. You know, a bow looks like a bow. A sword could be a knife. It's really arguable what it is. But then here, I believe it's in this section where they're listing this as a gauntlet, technically. Just
It
straight
looks
up
like a gun,
block.
yeah.
just straight up a gun she's wielding. You jumping up in the air and shooting a gun, using the gun
Whoa.
attack to shoot off a gun.
Crazy.
That's a gauntlet, allegedly. But that's, I mean, again, like, all I know is in context of how it relates to Smash Bros. Specifically, which I guess is the idea. They're always going to be tied together because of the fact that the characters in the West, at the very least, debuted in Smash Bros. Like, they're going to be intrinsically linked to a certain degree. So at the very end of the Direct, I believe it's around here, maybe? No, it's maybe before that. When it first cuts to black the first time. Actually, I don't know where it is. Might be here where, yeah, the big adventure, all these characters. Does this game also take place in an academy? That was the idea with with Three Houses, right?
no, it doesn't. Like, well, I assume it doesn't. I mean, it takes place, I think, in just the town where the games are held.
Okay.
At least the first half of it before the time skip.
And one more time, what year does Three Houses take place in?
Like 1180 to 1185. So you're looking
Okay.
at like 250 to 300 years.
The big reveal that doesn't, I guess I need more context for at the end of this Direct is 49 rolls over into 54. And there's very few Fire Emblem characters I recognize or know the names of. Of course, it's always in reference to Smash. There's this little lingering thing where they're all statues. They're no longer around. And then I believe it's this character that shows up. Is this
Sothis, yeah.
This is the same green character from the Byleth reveal? Or is that a different character? Because that's
Yes, it is.
Okay,
Yes,
so
it
this
is.
one I do know. I don't know anything about them,
So-
but I know they were in the Byleth Smash reveal right before the Cuphead.
Yeah, Sothis is returning in this game in like looking a lot older. trying to think. Like there's probably a lore reason for that. I don't really.
Yeah, I mean, it's like 100
forget
years
like how.
later. So are they some kind of supernatural entity?
Yeah,
or
they
magic
they live longer, a lot longer than people. So, but I think Sothis is also like, I don't want to say God of this universe. I forget like exactly how her lore works, but she's like a higher power. So I guess at this point she's gotten a lot old enough to look more like a human adult or whatever. And I guess she just summons some rando like out of nowhere.
So did she debut in Three Houses, or has this been like an overarching?
Okay, she hasn't existed before this, yeah.
So is this the first game that she's shown up in since then?
Well, there was like a Three Houses like spin-off that I never played, like a Fire Emblem Warriors game, I think.
Okay.
I never played that, but
right?
I forget. Like I think it's weird. It's
Okay.
like because I think it's an alternate story or something, but it does have the same characters. It kind of pissed me off that the game exists because I don't want to play it, but I probably should or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, if it's a Warriors game, the appeal of a Warriors game is like seeing all the characters cross over and like being able to play as all of them. And that makes sense for Fire Emblem because it has so many iconic characters. But then, I mean, if it is canon, then it's probably restricted by that because that was the deal with the Hyrule Warriors game. Is the first Hyrule Warriors was this big like multiversal crossover. Oh, you could play as Toon Link and Skull Kid. And then later when they made them like canon stories, it was kind of held back by that fact.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's all I know about that. By the way, Twitch chat says the date is not really useful since the game's countries have different calendars. That sounds really confusing.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah. I heard someone say that as well. Yeah. Dude, I that might be a detail that I just forgot. If like I forget the names of the countries, like the Fodlan countries, like Dimitri, Edelgard, and Claude's countries had different calendars. So there might be truth to that. Yeah, the Leicester Alliance. I'm like blanking. Just the red one and the blue one, and the Leicester Alliance are the three nations, and like, but like,
Sothis, okay.
yeah, I mean, potentially there could be like some fuckery about that. Especially because this I don't think this game takes place on Fodlan, or if it does, it's like a post World Order. I honestly was thinking that despite me saying the opposite, I could see them kind of like using something like that to as sort of like a red herring to kind of like, oh wait, this game is actually a prequel or whatever. But I think Sothis being older, that would have to be explained.
Was Three Houses the first to feature a time skip within the game?
No.
Okay, so this is like a common thing for the series.
It's been done a couple times. I know Genealogy of the Holy War, I think, has. God, I'm like really outing myself as a fake fan here. So the first part of the game takes place.
You could honestly just make up episode titles, and we'll probably believe you.
No, literally. I think the first game takes place with the main character, and then the second half takes place like you play as their kids. Okay. Fire Emblem Awakening has a 3-year time skip, I'm pretty sure. So I mean it's done now and then narratively.
Yeah, so I imagine what we're witnessing here is them showing this in the direct. Like it's a big thing at the end, so it kind of at first I was like, oh, is this DLC? Is this like a different thing altogether? But it seems like because this ending bit takes place, 5 years after the Heroic Games, which is the framing device of the game, is sort of like an Olympics thing, that all of the protagonists, we see an image of them burning, of the 4 protagonists we play as, I imagine are dead, or maybe it's going to be revealed that they're not dead later.
I don't think they're dead, because I think you see later in the trailer, you see the protagonist with them.
Right, we see the debut of this character as well, which I think leads us to believe that there's 5 protagonists you can play as. Maybe this is
they say in the direct that this is the true protagonist. They literally say that.
Oh,
so
God.
It's like
that sucks. It's the most boring looking one.
It's like some weird shit. I think this they're probably gonna do something similar to like the like once again I forget the exact lore, but I think this character is supposed to be similar to Byleth in terms of like backstory and mannerisms.
I swear to God, if this is the one that gets in over the 4 other protagonists, I mean, that's
what I was going to say.
Likely for it to happen.
Very nervous about that.
Oh, and that's Fortuna. Furtada. Well, we do have outside of the direct. Is there any like additional audio information we missed in the direct? Because obviously we're playing it muted in the background right now. Is there anything they say that's worth mentioning? Well, we do also have a little update on the website because this game is available September 17th. Yeah, it just lists this one as just protagonist.
Oh, you travel back in time to guide the heroes. Okay, so I think they might actually be dead or just gone or something. I forget.
Okay, so maybe we start with this character and then we go back and do the other 4 characters.
No, I think what it probably. Well, actually, I don't know. Like, my guess based on how the game was advertised and just how Three Houses was done. Like the first half of Three Houses you play, it's like you're a teacher at the school and you do things on behalf of the school and you kind of you're kind of like teaching your students how to be, warriors, but you're also kind of leading them on like expeditions. And then the second half is when like you're in a real bloody war. So that's why like the first half is always like kind of meh. And that's when the second half is when Three Houses like really starts to shine.
Sorry, while you were saying that, I saw this collection and then I'm like, oh yeah, that's at the end of the direct. And then I remembered like, wait, this base game is like $80. So what's the Dagdan collection?
I assume it comes like some like art book and shit.
Yeah.
Art book.
Sorry, my mouth was agape.
Maybe
That's insane.
maybe a DLC thing. Actually, I feel like there've been games like that before with like really ridiculous collector's editions.
Yeah,
I
mean that's what
cards.
it looks like. Like it has a map, it has a book, it has a steel book. I was just shocked that they're doing this for this because the base game itself is already 80, right?
Oh, might be. It's either 70 or 80. I forgot.
I think it's that, and then I think digital is 80, if I remember correctly.
Okay. Oh no, it might be digital 70, physical 80. That's what I would assume.
The second Nintendo game would be $80. It seems like this protagonist's name is Eshmel. We can go through these characters as well. It's weird that it just listed off as protagonist. Do you name your characters in Fire Emblem games?
Yes, usually.
Okay. So I guess you could choose Eshmel, but it could be anyone. Well, we're getting ready for Eshmel to be the next character in the next Smash Bros. But we got Kai, a young boy determined to save his father from imprisonment. We got Diedrich. Isn't there already a Fire Emblem character named Diedrich?
I feel like there is, yeah.
Okay. That feels like a GBA one, if I remember correctly. Or maybe that's just like a translation thing. A ruthless swordsman, ever on the hunt for a stranger foe. See, this leads me to believe that... Because he's using magic here.
There might actually not be. There might not actually be a Dietrich in Fire Emblem yet. I can't find any. It's definitely like a Fire Emblem ass name.
Yeah, I mean, this is leading me to believe that these characters. Oh, it seems like they all have a sword, so maybe they have a secondary. Theodora, a queen seeking to fulfill a long-held dream of her homeland. Lita, a talented musician with her sights set on taking her revenge. Has there ever been a bard character in Fire Emblem? What purpose does that serve?
They refresh. They're like refreshers. So if you use a bard on a character after they've done their turn, they get to like do another turn basically.
Yeah. Well, for any other game, when you see these 4 characters, and it would seem like one RPG party, like, oh, you have the mage, and you have the swordsman, and you have like the commander with the arrows, and you have the bard. But I wonder if you're even gonna. I mean, if they're 4 distinct campaigns, maybe they'll interact, but I doubt that they'll be on the same squad. Because that's the idea with Fire Emblem, right? Is that you're one protagonist, but you're leading a squad of individuals, no?
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fortuna, the god of casualty. I wouldn't want to hang around that. Who
causality.
aids you? Oh, that makes way more sense. Okay. On your journey through time. And then Sothis, progenitor god who sets you and Fortuna on a quest to save the world. So maybe this is like the opening then, and you get sent back by Sothis.
I mean, my guess was that like the actual protagonist doesn't show up until the second half, but you might honestly be right. Like,
I mean, it sounds like, which I didn't know going into this, it sounds like a time skip isn't unheard of for Fire Emblem, so it could make sense.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. It might be some new weird shit, I guess. Like, I'm a little stumped because, like, if you're going back in time to like guide the existing characters, like that does seem like a thing where the flow of time in the game might not be super linear.
I want to see something real quick because okay. So Three Houses is on the Switch 2 11.6 gigabytes, and this is 29.5 gigabytes. Okay, wait. Let me see. Let me compare to the other games. Can I see? What's a big game? Like Bonanza?
Bonanza. I think that was like 20 gigabytes or some shit. I forget.
Yeah, let's see. I forgot they listed them off here. Let's see. Oh, I forgot about this shit. I love this shit. I love Bonanza. All right, I just want to scroll, man. All right, there we go. Bonanza is 9
wow, I forgot how small
gigabytes.
it was.
That's insane. Wait, hold on. What's
crazy.
Splatoon Raiders? Yeah,
wait,
I guess
what's Kirby?
and Kirby Air Riders.
Yeah, what's Kirby Air Riders?
Maybe that was the one that was 20.
I feel like Splatoon was 20 something, if I remember correct. Seems a little bit more comparable. Additional data if it helps that you know it's a single player game, just in case you didn't know. But that game is coming out September 17th, 2026. It's been a while since we checked back in with the games that we do know over on this board. Okay, I just hit a button. I'm going to wait for the stream to switch over. And we started this back up in the second year 2 of the Switch 2. And overall, maybe lackluster isn't the word, but it's definitely a lighter year than the first year. I haven't had an opportunity to play any of the re-releases or the new fitness boxing game, but up with the new Star Fox, with the new Rhythm Heaven, and with Splatoon Raiders. But a couple days ago, about 5 days ago, July 30th, saw the release of Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Nintendo Switch 2 Edition. And I've been running on empty as of late, so I haven't been keeping up with these, although I would like to try them. It seems like the next big Switch 2 game is going to be Orbitals, and then shortly thereafter Fire Emblem. I imagine we'll get a Direct in September. Like, that doesn't seem out of the realm of possibility. Also, I think I brought this up last time, but there seems to be a global online test for the Duskbloods that'll start in later August, but you're not really able to capture any footage of it, at least if the contract it wanted me to check off was correct. So we'll just hope that the Duskbloods comes out. However, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Switch 2 Edition came out, and I would like to hear your thoughts on that game as well.
All right. It's all right, pretty much. Like, I don't know. It's so hard to really judge these games, these versions, because it's like, I played Xenoblade Chronicles 2 twice, both times in 2018, and I haven't really played the games since. Well, actually, to be fair, like, I kind of came back to Xenoblade 2 now and then to do some kind of like challenge content over the next couple years. Like when I was working on my Xenoblade Iceberg video. I kind of picked it up again and was like relearning the combat system and stuff. So like, it's not like I completely stopped forever, but like at this point, it's been long enough that I kind of forget how to play the game. And I haven't like really done a side quest for the first. I haven't done like it's funny. I'm like doing a new side quest in the game after having like not done a proper Xenoblade 2 side quest in 8 years. So because of that, you know, I bought the DLC. I got the new Rare Blade, Momo, and Momo is interesting for several reasons. But because of all this, like, it's kind of weird. I kind of pick up this old save file and I'm like, oh wow, I guess this game I played years ago now runs at 60 FPS. You know, I heard some people complaining about the 4K like upscaling bullshit. That hasn't bothered me yet. Just because, well, I think I'm playing on the monitor I play Switch on is 1080p, so I don't think it's like doing that to me. I don't exactly know how it works, to be honest, but I heard people complaining about that. But there's a lot of quality of life changes in this too. Like, for example, one of the things in the original game is that there are basically like these like skill checks. I guess that's the best way of describing it. Like, for example, if there's I don't know if that's it. Let's say, for example, there's a bunch of cobwebs in the way in a cave or whatever. You can't pass it unless you have like enough party members with fire mastery skills or whatever. So you might need like 6 points, and that could be like 2 party members, both with level 3 fire, or 3 with level 2. Like, you just need to kind of hit that cap somehow. And that was really annoying because you just have to like sift through your party and kind of organize your active party members just to like break that obstacle. They got rid of that. Now it just kind of like automatically determines like what the best formation you could have is. and just does it for you. So that's like a big quality of life change. I heard the menus are a little snappier too. And I mean, honestly, I like the game at 60 FPS. It just looks nice. So I'm fine that I bought it, but like it's kind of hard to assess it because I'm probably not going to replay this game for a while because it's long and it's a long game. I've already played it twice. So I spent $10 to kind of do one extra side quest and play at a higher res. There is also a new game mode, but it's not like that different. It's just kind of a like slight twist on the original battle system. But for what it's worth, like if I were going to replay this game today, I think the $10 to upgrade it is definitely worth it. Mm-hmm. Like the game plays better, the game looks better, at least in my opinion. And it's, Xenoblade 2 is a good game. So, yeah, I had fun with it. I think the new rare blade's cool, too. I don't know the exact, like, nerdy RPG stuff, but she does have, like, this one skill that previously wasn't available on any of the, like, named characters because in the game, there are, like, these, like, generic... Like the best way of describing blades to someone who hasn't played the game is they're kind of like Pokemon. That's the best the best way of describing it.
Switch.
Yeah, they got the down B switch. And the Pokemon or the blades, there are ones with names and full personalities and side quests and stuff like that. And there are also blades that just like are just random. They're just like they're like randomly generated. They don't actually have like any unique voice lines or anything. And they look kind of ugly too. But there's like one like kind of cheesy ability that only the generic ones can have that this new one has. So there's like some cool strategies you can kind of pop up with her. She has two different modes based on that have different elements and different arts and stuff like that. And I think most notably, she's based on a character from Xenosaga. Which is, well, she's not based on, well, I guess you would say she's based on, but she's also just literally that character from Xenosaga. Xenosaga has a character named Momo. She's one of the main characters in the whole series, and this character is based on her. Looks a lot like her, has the same name, has a similar voice line, and like her whole kit, her whole design is filled with references to the series. In some ways, that's really big. In some ways, it's not super big because they did this earlier when the game first came out. They had they included the character Cosmos, who's basically the mascot of Xenosaga. She's just in the game for some reason. The lore of why she's in the game is never really explained, but she's in the game. Or they might have hinted at something, but also like low-key, not really. Then there's also Talos, who was added, I think, in DLC or at least in a patch update for the game after it initially came out. And she's similar. She's like evil Cosmos basically, and she's also a character from Xenosaga. So they've done this before, but it is kind of cool seeing like this character from Xenosaga get like officially acknowledged and kind of brought into a video game 20 years later. So that's fun. It is fun. Her quest is like whatever. I mean, I think in general, the Blade quests, in my opinion, in Xenoblade are usually like not that good, but it's something more to do. I might fill out her whole affinity chart, which is basically like all the just like objectives or little side quests for the character you have to do to kind of bring them to their max strength and stuff like that.
So if you've already beaten the game like you had and transferred the save over to the Switch 2 edition, all this stuff is like added on at the end, so it's ostensibly post game.
No, not really, because you can do all this stuff like so there's 10 chapters of the game. Most of this stuff you can get in like chapter 3. Except actually Momo is a little bit later because Momo's quest requires going somewhere that you don't go for like until chapter like 4 or 5. But I think the Merc mission mode, the new Merc stuff, like the new game mode, I think you get that pretty early on. Yeah, I mean it's well, you can unlock Momo I think pretty early on. I think you can get her immediately after you first recruit Tora, who's like the little Nopon guy. And that's like within like in chapter 2, I'm pretty sure. So you can get Momo early, but you can't do her side quest until like chapter 6. But that's actually pretty normal for the game. She's effectively like main story content. So like Yeah, I like regarding post game stuff. There really isn't any post game stuff other than just kind of. I guess because Momo kind of has some new abilities, you know, she might kind of mix up like the strats for like the challenge mode kind of stuff. But it's definitely a pretty small expansion pass. That's why they only sold it for like $10. But you know, for $10, like it's not that much skin off my back. And once again, like if I ever do replay this game, I'm glad that I bought the Switch 2 edition. It's a lot bigger though. I guess it's because of like how much more juice it needs for the 60 FPS, or it needs more upscaled assets. Like I had to like delete like several games off my Switch to download it, which is really annoying. I gotta like just invest in like one of those, I don't know, like 12 gigabyte SD cards or something.
Well, it's just been interesting to see the way that different Switch 2 editions are contextualized. That it seems like the initial idea is to re-release the game just for the Switch 2. What's the word I'm looking for? Just so it's running on the Switch 2 properly and getting up to 60 FPS. And then while they're developing it, they're like, oh, we should like put something in there as well. And they all seem to add additional modes. Is it this one that seems to add like a racing game, or is that Xenoblade Chronicles 3?
Xenoblade 1
Okay,
did the racing
one.
game.
Yeah,
This one has like an alternate game mode, because in the original game there were these things called Merc missions where you can send your Pokemon. I'm gonna keep saying Pokemon, that's the best way of describing it. You can like just send out your Pokemon to do these like time side quests. You can say, okay, you 5 Pokemon, you do this side quest, and I'll get the bonuses from it in like half an hour.
Okay.
And it's just a thing you kind of like passively do while you're playing the game. It's like one of those like you know, it's in some ways it's like The Simpsons Tapped Out, or one of those other like city builder, like, oh, send your character to do this for.
Wait, which realm does it bat closer to?
You know, honestly, this is kind of cynical. I think they only did this because like it's they could basically do a performance update, but also have an excuse to like charge money for it. I think that's the biggest thing. Like, because I remember when the Switch 2 came out, there were some games that just natively introduced 60 FPS support without charging money or whatever. I forget like what the nomenclature of it was, because it was really confusing. But some games like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet just became you could play them in 60 FPS on Nintendo Switch for free, and Switch 2 for free.
That one's
I
really
think
weird because I don't know if you guys have played any of it, Scarlet and Violet on the Switch 2. But yeah, like it runs way better because obviously like the game on the original Switch ran very poorly and would crash often. But they also used that opportunity to spawn more Pokemon. I guess the game was just kneecapped before and they're able to do so. And I kind of don't like that. Like sometimes you walk into a route and like 4 times as many Pokemon will spawn and you just can't get around them. I suppose that's the
funny.
idea with random encounters, but I think it's sort of an adverse effect to what they were trying to do.
Yeah, that sounds like a bad call in my opinion. But I don't know. I mean, I think like in a lot of ways, to be kind of cynical, they mostly just kind of brought this stuff in because it probably didn't take them too long to make. The extra blade. Well, I mean, actually, you know, as I say that, I mean, it probably was kind of hard to get as many voice actors as they did back, because I was almost expecting the new side quests to not have any voice lines or something, just because it sounded like a pain in the ass to I don't know, like bring back like 8 or 9 voice actors from the original game just for this one thing. But they actually did, or at least some of them. Some of them had to be recast, especially like most notably like Dromark's voice actor, because Dromark's voice actor passed away in the last couple of years. But for what it's worth, that probably was kind of hard. But just in general, I mean, it's one quest, one pretty simple game mode that is most just using reused assets. Like, I assume this was pretty easy to knock out. And then, I don't know, you get to kind of juice up the game and also charge $10 for it. I think that's the real reason they did it. But I don't know. Like, I'm not too bothered by it, like, nowadays, because it is kind of cool seeing these games get new material. But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of just spitballing. I think I like Xenoblade, so I'm kind of biased, but you know, I would say, at least for me, this is probably the definitive version to play the game. I think it's better with 60 FPS and with Momo and with this new game mode than it is without it. But like, I mean, this is like a similar, probably actually debatably less content than some of the early game like patches. Because I remember like when the game initially came out, there were a few problems with it. They kind of got patched out over the next few months, and they actually added some extra blades in the New Game Plus mode afterwards. And I think those honestly were more impactful to the experience of the game than this probably is, at least the new material in this edition. But I don't know. I mean, it's a different world now, and for what it's worth, it's not like it was. I'm sure there was still work put in to juice up the game, as I said, bring it up to a higher resolution stuff, especially because like Xenoblade 2 in its originally, I mean, I think it looks really grainy. So I think the game looks a lot better now.
That's much
better. Did they do a better job with the upscale than they did with the other two games that had that thing?
I don't know. I haven't really given it a good look. Nothing that's really bothered me. And like all things considered, for me, I mean, I'm down. I don't really mind it so far, and I like having the 60 FPS, so I'm not super bothered.
Do you think it's a better Switch 2 edition than the previous one for Xenoblade 1?
I don't know, because Xenoblade 1 has the ether jets, and the ether jets, like I think that's going to completely change how the game is sped run. Is it sped run? Speed ran? Sped ran?
Yeah.
Speed ran like how I think that's gonna that changes one of the most ridiculous things about Xenoblade Chronicles 1, and that's how in sometimes the maps just like super big and super empty, so that's like a huge quality of life change. But to be honest, like the new game mode in Xenoblade 1, it's cute, but it's kind of dumb. Like it's like a weird racing mode that I don't know, just kind of exists to be something new. But it's fun. I don't know which one I would say is more worthwhile. Because I think although Xenoblade 1 has the new version has a big, quality of life change, the Xenoblade 2 does as well with the with the kind of like field checks being streamlined. But I don't know. I mean, Xenoblade 1 also had... I don't think there are any new quests other than just kind of getting the ether jets. So this one probably, technically, is more value for your money. At least in terms of, I guess... Because I think the combat game mode has more overt in-game kind of benefits. I don't remember the Xenoblade 1 ether jet game mode having that many super good benefits other than just like costumes or whatever. That's the lamest shit. I'm like so tired of that, is that it's like, oh, you just get like a palette swap costume for these characters, and like low-key I don't care.
I mean, a lot of like, even before they re-release games, a lot of games will have like, oh, the definitive edition, or if you pre-order you get a special hat for the game. Constant annoying trend. Well, that was the hour of expertise among both Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave and Xenoblade Chronicles 2. But I do want to jump into this a little bit, because I don't remember exactly. Did any of us get the physical Virtual Boy prop? The one that you buy?
Didn't Dan get it?
It was the Dan purchase, right? Yeah. You did?
Yeah.
All right, so how do you feel about the recent release of 2 Virtual Boy games that were previously lost to time, that they had never released? Is there a reason they did not release them?
I just never think they were finished, from what I can tell.
Okay.
Or they were kind of in an unfinished state. Not like completely unfinished, but to the point where I'm sure if the Virtual Boy had been more of a success, they would have probably finished it. It's sort of like a Star Fox 2 scenario, where that game never really released, and then they released it for the SNES Mini. So I play a little bit of it. I don't remember the names. The Dragon Hopper one is actually pretty fun. You ever play Jumping Flash? It's kind of like that, mixed with like a Zelda game, sort of.
Yeah, first-person 3D platformer.
And the other one, I think it's called Zero Riders. That one probably could have stayed lost.
Okay, I see.
That one was fine.
So it's these two games we're seeing right now, and this is a real.
Yes.
The one that's like Star Fox. It's weird that that game just isn't Star Fox, considering like how it looks. It's could easily just have been a Star Fox.
We didn't need that. This game is kind of fun for what I play. Oh, and they also released the ability to change the color finally. Which thank God.
What can you change it to?
Gray, green, red. I don't know all the colors, but as soon as I saw gray, I'm like, I'm just gonna keep it as gray. Why would I not keep it as gray?
I imagine, they were just like kind of finished games, or maybe they're games that they did finish that they didn't release because of sales, to your point. But I wish they would do this more. I like the idea of them. I know that Star Fox 2 and these games were finished but just never released. But I like the idea of like now that they have all these platforms online, I think it would be fun if they just got developers to build NES games, N64 games from the ground up and put new games in those franchises. And it's a fun idea that they don't really delve into enough. I imagine part of it, because that was a selling point of, like you said, the Super Nintendo Classic. I imagine part of them re-releasing the Virtual Boy and these Virtual Boy games is so that they could finally release these games and get something out of it. It's still really egregious that you have to buy the peripheral, but just wanted to get the Dan expertise. As the world's biggest and most foretold Virtual Boy fan, we had to see how you felt about it.
Oh, yes, of course. That is what I'm very well known for.
Within that same time period, after... It's been over a year, even longer, since they announced GameCube Online being a Switch 2 exclusive, that being a big deal. And then it launched with Wind Waker and Soul Calibur and F-Zero and a fourth thing. And then over the couple months following it, we got the release, the drip-feeding release of Chibi Robo, of Wario World, of Luigi's Mansion. All of these games, popular GameCube games in their own right, but not the popular GameCube game. After all this time, striking the iron while it's hot in the middle of the summer, finally, Super Mario Sunshine is coming to Nintendo Switch Online on August 13th, 2026. This is the only render we have for it. This is less effort than the Virtual Boy and the Wario World announcement. It's just a logo bouncing up. And I gotta say, this is personally spiting me, because it was announced on the 30th, like a couple days after I had finally 100% of this game as part of the 3D All-Stars. Luckily, now everything that you could play in the 3D All-Stars game that was lost to time, lost media, because you can't buy it on the storefront, is going to be playable on the Nintendo Switch 2. Except, of course, the version of Sunshine that is in that collection is widescreen and removes all of the graphical issues. I'm interested to see what they do and don't leave into this GameCube port, because very infamously, there's a moment in one of those subspace areas where you don't have your FLUDD, where the blocks move in a path, but they have a little checkered board dotted line that it moves. And when you're just playing the GameCube game, you think it's a stylistic decision, but that was actually just texture mapping that wasn't supposed to be left in the game, and it's removed in the Switch version of the 3D All-Stars. So I'm interested to see if they leave in all the original GameCube stuff, because I haven't checked, but I'm pretty sure the 64 online version of Mario 64 is the re-release version, right, where he doesn't say Gay Bowser. I actually haven't checked that, but although this lacks a lot of pomp and circumstance to this announcement, they did release and commission official art of Mario and Peach basking by the beach, the Peach Beach in Mario Sunshine. Yeah, this is a really interesting piece of art. What's interesting is that it's clearly modeled after the official GameCube art. But I want to ask you guys, do you notice any difference between these two pieces of art? Anything really standing out as specific?
Pianta.
Bro, Toadsworth, my guy, bro. Why do they hate him?
Yeah, so they have removed Toadsworth from
yes.
this trio. They have completely erased, like, there's other stuff, right? The Piantas, the background, the beach ball, they added a crab. Yeah. But it seems like, we're just going to make new art, that they specifically removed Toadsworth. And we have only ever seen Toadsworth reappear in remakes of the Thousand Year Door and then this re-release of Super Mario Sunshine. What was the last time we officially saw Toadsworth in like a new game? It had to have been one of the Mario.
That's like Mario
games,
Golf
right?
shit.
Oh, maybe.
It must have been like that Mario baseball game on Wii, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, Sluggers, yeah. Because people have made the point that this recent resurgence of a lot of these characters and a lot of these games have shown up in games, right? The return of K. Rool in Donkey Kong, I didn't think that it was actually going to happen. There's a story beat in Yoshi and the Mysterious Book that Kamek is finally back, but I didn't even know that Kamek was gone, to be fair. I didn't think that he was. I wonder if... Yeah, you're right. Like, what is their specific quarrel with Toadsworth? And is he going to come back anytime soon? Because it seems like we're kind of shifting into a new era. People hold up the developers that have been at Nintendo for a long time, your Shigeru Miyamoto's and your Masahiro Sakurai's, because we know those names and they make us remember our favorite games from our childhood. But there's only so much you can gain by focusing on the past. It seems like a lot of these modern Nintendo games have had a lot younger and fresher blood, specifically the Pokemon ones. And I'm interested to see if that character will make a return, just because of the people making the games now probably grew up with games with Toadsworth, because Toadsworth was, outside of being like a larger Mario character, I think is mainly held to the GameCube games. Like, I think there were a handful of Wii games that were referencing the GameCube games, but for the most part, it mainly seems like Mario Sunshine and the Thousand Year Door. Did he debut in Mario Sunshine, or did he preface that?
It might have been Mario Sunshine. Let me double check.
Okay.
Because I see him as like some like GameCube shit. Honestly, like let's see. Yeah, first time appear I think is in Mario Sunshine.
Maybe they were holding off because Sunshine's a little bit of the black sheep of the three, and the reason it took this long, just so we're following the thread. For those of you who haven't been keeping up each week, Mario Sunshine is... Most people, I won't say it's like one of the best, but it's definitely one of the most popular, if not the second most popular GameCube game. It's kind of what it's known for, and it's interesting that while we have seen leaks of N64 games in a blurry backdrop in a previous trailer, Mario Sunshine was a screenshot used for the CRT filter within the game. They use Super Mario Sunshine sound effects in the GameCube app. It's really confusing why it took this long. We theorized before with Donkey Kong 64 that they waited for June 4th, 64, so that it would coincide with the date. I don't know why they would release this in like later August. That's still technically the summer. It's still the summer until mid-September. But I really don't know why this wasn't a launch game with it. It seems like a striking omission. I don't want to play it. I refuse to play this game again. I played it like 2 times this year. But I do want to see if they leave in all of the quirks of the game, because it is a very quirky game. And maybe that's why it took so long to port, if it did even take long to port.
It's a weird drip-fed game, to be honest. Like, it's, I don't know, Mario Sunshine's weird. You know, I feel like...
Very weird game.
I feel like as time passes, people are less and less sympathetic to it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, I mean, at least the people around me for a few years, when I was a teenager, it seemed like there were a lot of people I knew who swore by Sunshine.
Yeah.
I don't really hear them as much as I used to. I don't know. I don't hate Sunshine or anything. I had fun playing it, but it's definitely... I don't know. Like honestly, people complain about Mario 64, but Mario 64 still feels tight to me.
Yeah.
Like, it still feels like thought through, and I would say
soulful.
Yeah, I would like. Well, no, we gotta stop saying that. Like there's something just tight and satisfying about playing Mario 64, but
yeah.
I don't know, Sunshine. Maybe I'm trying to remember if I played it with a GameCube controller or not, because maybe it's that, because like there are certain things about Sunshine that maybe play better on GameCube controller than like a generic gamepad, but I might have played it on a GameCube controller,
because
so I don't know.
GameCube controller has the analog triggers, so you can control how much water you're shooting. I have made my opinion on this game pretty evident throughout this year, but the main thing I noticed upon going back to 100% it finally, because that's what I wanted to do for the 1000th stream, because it was a stream I started back in 2020 and just never 100%ed it, that it's a lot more monotonous and annoying to get everything in the game. And not even just the blue coins. Like, the comparison to Mario 64 is there. Sure, Mario 64 is also very buggy, but at least in Mario 64, you can jump into a level and, for the most part, do whatever star you want. The thing I find the most egregious about Sunshine is you have to be in hyper-specific episodes to do hyper-specific things. Like, to get the 100 coin shine, you have to be in a very specific episode, and if you're not, then you just can't get 100 coins. It's little stuff like that like loads up. I imagine part of the pro Sunshine sentiment early on was not only like people who grew up with it, but also when Galaxy came out, Galaxy was like the linear game. It was a lot less open than the previous, so I guess the comparison is there. But now that we've gotten games like Odyssey and so many games since then, it really stands out as being... I'm not saying this for any slanderous reasons. I wholeheartedly believe this. Mario Sunshine has more in common with like a 3D Sonic game than it does a 3D Mario game. That if you already like it, if you play it all the time, if you grew up with it, it feels amazing. It's probably one of the best games. But it's hard to explain that if you're an outsider that didn't grow up with the game, isn't committed to it, it feels awful. It controls like shit. And if you ever bring that up to a fan of the game, they will say like, oh, you're probably just bad at the game. And the same applies to like Sonic Adventure. Like, you watch speedruns and people are doing insane things, but that's not how the average person would play. Weirdly, Sunshine is the closest to like a 3D Sonic as opposed to a 3D Mario game. But yeah, this erasure of Toadsworth is just incredibly interesting to me.
I think one of the biggest things about Sunshine is that part of the game requires like aiming with a fucking GameCube controller. It's like, I'm good, bro. I'm good. The
camera just gets stuck on so many things.
I feel like, because I mean, there's stupid shit like that in Galaxy where it's like, oh, you have to like hold your Wii remote a certain way, and it's kind of annoying. But like, those are like gimmick levels, and there's like one or two per like system or whatever. Like it feels like part of the experience, but I don't know, because like I don't know, Flood I've never found to be that fun to use.
I mean, it's worse without Flood, but still.
I really just think that Odyssey is where they just kind of figured it out. I mean, I really do think Odyssey is probably the best 3D platformer ever, at least for me. Like,
Galaxy is one of my favorite games, but I recognize that Odyssey is still a better game.
Because I mean, Odyssey
reshaped Mario's movement so much that when they re-released Mario 3D World, they added in his midair dive because of how good it felt.
I forgot about that.
I mean, if we're to differentiate Sunshine more, the fact that Sunshine doesn't have the long jump, which is such like an iconic thing to all the 3D Mario games, it's just so it's weird. It's the weirdest one, but like not in a fun and inventive way. It feels bad. I will tell you guys that as we have been doing the show weekly, normally what we cover in between weeks is obviously what happens between said weeks. And the previous week during the storm, I talked about the weekend before when I took a little trip to New York and visited the Nintendo store to see all the Splatoon Raider stuff that they had set up. This weekend, I believe Thursday to Sunday, is Supernova, formerly known as Super Smash Con before, you know, Nintendo lawyers are going to be the way they are. And I don't even think they like struck them. I think they preemptively renamed it because they knew that something fucky was going to happen. And normally, this convention is held in Chantilly, Virginia, but this year it's held at the Baltimore Convention Center, which is a drive from my house. So I'm going to be going every day, and I'm going to be going with friends. And there's a lot of stuff that has coincided with that, not purposefully, but I can report back with more stuff about Supernova when I come back next week. But things that I want to cover from the previous week is actually today, as we're filming this, and I believe I covered this in the post-EVO show as well, is the release of the Rivals of Aether 2 character named Gooey. And the cast of Rivals of Aether are all different elemental specialist animals, and this one is based on a platypus and uses a lot more the very specific character archetype it's clearly going for. And I will say that I had like a bad experience trying to get the character workshop to work on Rivals. It's still in beta, so maybe it'll be better. Over the last like month or so, we have been playing Smash clones on Steam like Fraymakers like Indie Pogo, like the original Rivals, most recently the previous weekend playing the workshop characters in the first Rivals game. But what I played of Rivals 2 I really liked. I think I didn't like the art style change early on, but with characters like this that are a lot more vibrant, it's really grown on me. But I like the idea of the roster constantly being updated for free, mind you. This character just comes with it. And actually, this week we're talking, the game is currently on sale for like 50% off. And also, the biggest thing is that they recently added remote play. So now I'm the only person who needs to own this game, which I much appreciate.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so yeah, if you ever want to play Rivals 2, let me know. I'm going to hop in on this GUI situation. But on top of that, within the same BHultra Patreon Discord server where we've been doing different friend slot games, we've been getting really into different Smash mods this year. And the two biggest ones have been Project Akanea, which adds King Dedede and Sonic and Tails and stuff to Smash Bros. Melee. But something weirdly that has tied all of us together, the three of us haven't been at an event together since, I believe, MomoCon 2024, if I remember correctly. And there was a moment in 24 when me and Switchy were separate from everyone, and we found a Smash Remix setup, which is the most famous and most dedicated Smash 64 mod pack, which adds so many characters to it. And there was a moment we were playing on a Dr. Mario stage and both completely mindlessly, without looking at each other, started singing the Brenofloss song. And then 2 years later, I was playing the same setup with Dan and the exact same thing happened. So the three of us have all played Smash Remix, but just never all three at the same time. However, this was a mod pack built on top of a mod pack called Smash Remix Extra, which was worked on by several other modders together. I didn't even know you could have this many people in a collaboration feature. And this was only shown off about a week ago. I'm going to try and speed it up a little bit. Though we all, for the most part, know a lot of the characters added to Smash Remix. But I wanted to highlight this because I believe Smash Remix, I think Conker or Doraemon's dad, they did the final Smash Remix update last year, which was the most recent time it was edited. So now a lot of fans have taken up the mantle to create their own mod packs on top of that. And we see stuff like this. We see Burdetta being a character. We see a lot more modded in characters and stages. And that's why I wanted to go over this, because I will say, Knuckles as well, that I think Smash 64 in a bubble is like the worst one, like the least fun one to play. Ryu and Ken in there as well. If I had to make a list of the Smash games I would rather play, Young Zelda, I think 64 would be on the bottom. But I do think that Smash Remix is kind of my favorite Smash mod, Kazuya and Terry. Like, compared to the Melee ones and Brawl ones, and I guess that's it, really, because I haven't gotten to the Wii U modding yet, Cloud. That this one is fun because of... Oh, yeah, then the adding of Spider-Man, I forgot. Real quick, I saw Spider-Man this weekend, very good. Apparently, it's like the largest opening weekend. I heard some people say ever. I heard some people say recently. Apparently, it had a better opening weekend than Endgame. It's really got those Spider-Man numbers.
That's crazy. Really?
Yeah.
Was that because of inflation, though? Like... Is that it though? Because I'm thinking to myself, like, that's
what I had heard is, on top of it being popular, it also, like, opening weekend is a very contentious point, and apparently they like had extra openings on Wednesday ahead of like Thursday night, so their opening weekend was like an additional day. Yeah, but I do think that the movie's just doing crazy. Just anecdotally, I've heard so many people talk about it. Meta Knight in this as well. That's, I don't know why it is. I don't know why this movie specifically, other than the fact that, you know, it's Spider-Man.
Because Sony is like Spider-Man. The only competent cape shit company at this point. Like,
I will say that, like, I know this is really funny too. Just the addition of Ultimate DK in this game. And I think I couldn't tell you which one of these ones is Ultimate DK, but I like that he's got the Bonanza face a little bit.
I don't know which one it is.
Mm-hmm. But what I like about a mod like this is because Melee has a very specific art style, as does Brawl. But when you put a model into it, it's still more or less kind of a modern model. But I think what's really fun about Smash Remix is that when you're porting characters like Cloud, like Kazuya, you have to use their model from the PlayStation. I like that they use era-accurate models. That's a really fun concept. I will say, the only thing against that is that I think Lucas is in the game, and I really wish they used his Smash 64, or sorry, his his Mother 64 outfit, even though that game never came out. I thought that would be a nice little touch. This part I don't quite get. The addition of Game & Watch, I understand, and then very shortly after, there's something called Mr. Game & Watch Plus. I don't know what that means. I mean, I hope
Maybe
it's just an alternate
moves.
costume. Maybe? And then there's Mr. Game & Watch 3D, if you want to see him as a 3D model.
Like, what's the point?
I'm pretty sure these
Wait,
are just
why?
alternate skins. But yeah, you have multiple different stages. I would, of all of the mods, despite 64 being probably the least fun Smash game to play, this is the best Smash mod, I will say. I love playing it. I haven't had the opportunity to play Smash Remix Plus Extra yet, but I'm really excited to when that moment happens. Just the addition of all these characters and stages, and they're yeah, they can see the Halberd here, the Waffle House as well, which normally I don't really like the meme picks. We were playing Rivals Workshop, and like I really like when they add video game characters. I don't love when I'm policing stuff that doesn't matter, just specific meme characters. But Waffle House is intrinsically tied to the Smash competitive scene because of certain tournaments that took place very close to them. And obviously, you know, for all of the three of us that have played Smash Remix, that's technically related to Waffle House as well. Just going through tutorial on how to get it. I just really wanted to cover this because this stuff really excited me. And hopefully all of us can play Smash Remix together again. But I believe that's everything we have to cover there. Unless there's anything I missed. I think that means we could jump into our Smash concept as well.
Ooh, baby.
I think we're good then. That means we can jump on over here. If you haven't joined us before, weeks and weeks ago, months now even, we attempted to cut down the Smash roster to the bare essentials, the 40 odd characters that we thought were locks for the game for sure. And every week since that moment, sans last week, we have had time to cover all of these characters individually and change up their rosters in a way we thought would better represent their characters. And I will say through Pikachu, there was a handful of stuff. For Fox, it was really just how he looks. Yoshi is almost perfect. We didn't need to change anything. But I will say if we're sort of building these character movesets from the ground up, then a lot can be changed about Luigi. I think that the grabs and the final smash can remain. Them being the poltergust makes sense, but there's a lot of stuff in this moveset that is clearly taken after Mario, and I understand why, right? He's the first Player 2 character. When he debuted in Smash 64, you couldn't play as him outside of the 2D platformer games. He didn't have his own series, but nowadays in Smash Bros, Donkey Kong has its own brand Emblem. It's categorized as its own game series. Wario is categorized as its own game series. I know that he is the Player 2, but I'm going to say this right off the bat. I think that Luigi should be categorized as a Luigi's Mansion character. I think it's had enough games now.
I disagree.
Interesting.
Yeah, same.
I
think,
disagree,
like,
and I also disagree on the fact that I don't think that should be his final Smash.
Ooh, okay. Do you think he should have a Luigi idea?
This. Well, no, I think I mentioned this a while ago, but my idea is because they're already incorporating the poltergust with his throwing and whatnot and that kind of thing, which is good because you're incorporating that from Luigi's Mansion 3 or 2 or wherever they introduced it. I think they should bring back the Brawl Final Smash in some way, but incorporate it in the way that it's a Wonder Flower effect.
Okay.
Oh, I like that.
I feel like we do often do this, that every time there's a new Smash 4 or Smash Ultimate Final Smash, we often go to the pool of like, oh, just bring the old one back. But I think that could work. There's nothing about it that's intrinsically tied to Luigi. However, I do like in Ultimate when they specifically changed around the grabs to incorporate the poltergust, because prior to that, there really was no Luigi's Mansion representation. But I guess if we're doing all these grabs, then the Final Smash doesn't need to be the poltergust. So the idea is that a Wonder Flower, or is it a Wonder Seed that does that?
I thought it was the Wonder Flower.
Yeah, No, it's a Wonder Seed. You're right.
Okay,
it's the
Wonder Seed, and then it creates the negative zone again.
Or something akin to it. Yeah,
Okay.
I kind of like that because, okay, it reminds me of how Peach's down B is the turnips. You know, like, it's not a thing that I guess is theoretically unique to Peach, but it's a chapter of Mario's history that Peach played a part in, that isn't represented with Mario's moveset. Like, for example, having Luigi do something with the Wonder Seed to kind of recreate the negative zone, I kind of like that. And admittedly, like, I know we've been getting rid of old Final Smashes a lot, but I mean new Final Smashes a lot, but I don't know. I feel like in some ways the older Final Smashes are more mechanically interesting.
Yeah, they're not just transformations.
They're not as visually or conceptually interesting, but they're more mechanically interesting. You know, so I don't know. I mean, I kind of like. I feel like the negative zone is like positively infamous at this point, with like more justification.
So what would the negative zone do in this? Would it do the same thing it does in Brawl?
Maybe,
I
but if we want to
assume.
keep that instantaneous thing, maybe what we would have to do is sort of like add that confusion of sorts. I don't know. It'd be a weird thing to do. But
Potentially
no,
Luigi can just like
Brawl.
Potentially it can be similar. Maybe Luigi isn't just like locked to doing it. He just kind of creates the zone, and it's just like a perimeter of the map that
He's
you're
not
just super
dancing
slow
anymore.
in.
He can like attack everyone as they're okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, I'm committed to these grabs still. I think like using the Poltergust for all of these. I'll be honest, I have played a number of Luigi's Mansions in the past, but there's nothing. I wouldn't say I'm like such a huge fan of it. I will say that there are moves that are iconic. The dash attack with the multi-hits and the fists.
You were keeping
being
that.
a coward. And the side special as well. The thing about the side special is it isn't a reference to anything. He just
It's just
does
like some
it in
made
the
up
game.
shit. Yeah.
So like is it worth putting like the Poltergust behind him so it's like pushing him in a direction? Is that something?
Maybe. That's actually not a bad idea.
I don't know. I feel like that kind of just it moves away from like the physical comedy. You know, I think
But what is he even doing? Why does he do this?
I don't know. He's just doing some shit.
The misfire. You could still keep it so that like it either like does a critical hit or it doesn't. But I think you just need a little design flourish of it being at least tied to his games a little bit.
Okay.
I will say that I have nothing specifically in mind.
It wouldn't be as funny though.
The only Luigi's Mansion thing that's not represented here that I think could be represented, but I'm not sure how, is Gooigi. And with that, now, would that be a skin? Or could we incorporate that into something else?
Like a down special, like he spawns it behind him and he... Maybe it leaves his body open, but he can then control Gooigi.
Right, but the problem is with that is I'm a little worried about that because I was thinking like, yeah, we can get rid of the down special because, you know, we always got Mario's down special to take that up, but that's not Mario's down special anymore. It's the fucking flood.
It is Doc's down special, but I think we may... Did we remove Doc? We did. I will say, this is... I think you either remove the up special or the neutral special. I don't think you can take both, but I don't think that his up special and his neutral special being the same as Mario's is required. I think you could have one. So, and I'm leaning more towards the neutral special because the green fireballs is a reference to the original Mario Bros. Arcade game. But I
like that.
I don't think that he needs the Mario up special because it's not different. Like Mario already does this.
I was kind of thinking that like the neutral special could be if we want like using the Poltergust like fire shot. I think that was in Luigi's Mansion.
Okay.
Like you really want if you like that could be a means of making it a little bit more. Well, I don't know. I mean, if I forgot that his fireballs were green in Mario Bros. That does kind of change my preference a little bit because I thought like I wasn't sure if the green fire was just like some made up shit.
No, that's actually in the original arcade game.
And it moves the same way in the arcade game as well.
Yeah, because with Mario, that...
Okay, then, yeah, I'm the advocate we keep neutral special.
Straight line, almost.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look at a list of Luigi's feats and abilities now.
What we could do with the up special, and the only thing that I'm curious about is how this would work like in the air, is because, you know, this is what he's known for, we could turn it into Mario 2 Super Jump.
Okay. I was thinking, you know that the bit in Luigi's Mansion when the rug, it turns into a wave and it's coming towards him, and then you could use the poltergust to give you a little boost upwards.
Yeah.
I know we're relying on the poltergust a lot, but it is kind of his main form of combat in his main games. I think either of those could work. I see what you're getting at. Like, the up B, you hold it, and then he, like, crouches down and moves up. Because he already has the floatiness and the flutter jump of that. But the question is, which of those
You know what that would
two...
also be more reminiscent of? That would also be more reminiscent of of his special ability in Super Paper Mario. Because in Super Paper Mario, he does kind of like a charging, really high up jump too. So I'm kind of bullish on that, all things considered.
Well, and I was also thinking that way we can get like representation from different Mario games, because now we got Wonder, we got Luigi's Mansion, and then we get Super Mario. We get Mario Arcade with the neutral special, and then we can get Super Mario Bros. 2 or Super Paper Mario.
Okay.
With the up special. So I think that'd be a cool way to do it. Plus, that thing is really powerful. Like, it can like attack as well. So you don't have to worry about like any attack on that.
The super
and I'm down to keep down special as is, unless you guys want to change it.
I like the idea of Guigi. I like being a part of it. The argument of like whether or not it would be a skin is interesting, because if we're the reason I wanted Luigi's Mansion to be its own series is so we could like get EGAD in as a character and it would be repped that way. I don't think that would like happen per se, but I would certainly like it. Looking at a lot of different Nintendo characters from different franchises that could be realistically added to the next game, I think there's an argument there for Ochi. I think there's an argument there for Poochie. But there is also, what's it called? Like a Polter Pup? He has like a dog.
Yeah.
I don't think that would be its own character, but I do think there's something there with his moveset. I don't know what it would be.
That could be an assist trophy. I'd say assist trophy for that.
What does the Polter Pup do in the games?
I forget.
It finds treasure, I think.
Okay.
Like the big thing.
So like you don't shoot it or nothing. You just kind of let it out and then it goes. Is it always a part?
No,
like is it following you, or do you follow it?
You could follow it. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it would work as an assist trophy, because then it could just like spawn random items wherever it digs or something.
I see. Okay. I like that up special. The question is, do we make Guigi a part of the moveset? Because Guigi isn't really his own character. And if we do that, then how do we contextualize that? Like changing the down special to something like that.
Is there I might be misremembering. Is there a character whose special is like based on their shadow, and you can have it go like out a little further, and then when you stop holding it,
that's Greninja, right?
Greninja,
okay.
Yeah.
So what if we did something like that with Guigi, where it's like Guigi kind of pops up, and then like the goo moving like down, is the signifier of it moving,
Yeah. Also, like, what if I like that, and I like that. Imagine it's kind of like Banjo's grenade, where you can do it in the air, and then wherever Guigi goes, Luigi will like land, like he'll spawn, like sort of a teleporter. I could see that.
Like that.
All right, we'll do Guigi for. So that's his down special then.
Yeah.
Because I've seen people contextualize it as like, oh, this will be an Echo Fighter, but I really don't see that happening. Guigi is not. First of all, Guigi is not like a guy. He doesn't have a soul. He's just Luigi controlling it. So we have that represented in the grabs, most of the specials.
I was also thinking we could also just make his down special his up smash. Because like, what is he doing with his up smash? Just swinging his head?
Yeah. Well, I think we could change these smashes as well. And we've done it with previous characters where we just added a design part of it. I think that you could just have... I'm trying to see what other like power-ups or what other collectibles they have in Luigi's Mansion. Is there anything there? I mean, it's all Poltergust, right?
It's all basically.
I was thinking,
say, like, we could, like, if we don't want to get rid of the down special, we could make the down special his up smash, and have that be like the up smash now, and then that way we keep the down special while having the new down special.
I don't know if we necessarily need the down special, especially with the down air here that sort of accomplishes.
Which is also like
low
key the down special, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
I'm trying to see what the Poltergust 3000 can do.
I was, there's the fire and ice shot, but I don't think that's actually like very like that unique.
What about the flashlight? That's like a big part of the game.
Yeah, I was like kind of thinking that, but I'm not totally sure. Like a stun, basically.
But what move it like does that become the neutral special that instead of a green fireball it just shoots a?
Nah, that's lame.
But what else
like
do we
that.
put it
I'd
for?
rather have the green. I mean, we could just make it a taunt.
Okay, a taunt that like freezes people.
Well, he already has the little kick taunt. Might as well just throw in another one that does a little like, but you have to be in like very close proximity.
That's true. It could also be like his jab being him throwing his ass back. I guess because this is the end of the jab combo, right? It's punch, punch, and then butt. What if it's punch, punch, flashlight, and it just like stuns them, and they can combo out of it?
Not a bad idea.
There might be an issue with like spamming that, but I'm sure that they'll find a way around it. Put a little flashlight there, and then up tilt, fist, down or side tilt, kick, down tilt, kick. The dash attack is good. The neutral air is just a sex kick, so maybe we could change that because we like changed the other ones a little bit.
I love the side smash so much. It's so dumb. It doesn't even make sense.
Oh, the little karate poke? Yeah.
Yeah.
What are
Luigi's that's T.
Let me see. What are Luigi's most forefront appearances? Is there anything?
Well,
are there any power-ups in Luigi U that aren't in the original U?
No, I think it's
don't think
all
so.
the same.
Okay. Let's see.
Like if we want to say that nothing's off limits, we could take stuff from Super Paper Mario, but that.
Well, what does he do in
it.
Super Paper Mario that would be different? Or that
Oh,
would be...
what does he? He gets brainwashed and then he becomes a villain, and then he controls the robot, and then he.
Dude, I've wanted a Mr. L alternate costume.
Dude, that's like
since before like any of my fans were born.
That
like it's serious.
So like, what is
a good theme too.
What does he do?
He's just evil. He's just evil Luigi.
Okay, he has a cape.
No.
Okay.
The jump, but that's kind of brought in with like the Mario 2 thing. Like,
right.
It works either way.
Luigi, we can think of. I'm just trying to think.
I mean, Mario isn't. I don't think we gave Mario any hammer abilities.
Isn't the side special kind of like a reference to Mario and Luigi, like the thunder thing?
I wouldn't know, but I think that it was his side special since Melee, so it might have been before that anyway. It might be a chicken or the egg situation.
Was it his side special in Melee?
Yeah,
I thought it was the same one that Mario had.
What is? No, because he doesn't have a cape, or does he?
He does.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure he
don't remember his
No,
side
he
special.
definitely has the misfire in Melee because people use it in like competitive Melee and stuff.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to. Fuck! I just had an idea. What was that? Oh, it's something about Mario and Luigi. Because like that, one of the main mechanics of brothership it's called like a Luigi idea, right?
Yes.
Or Luigi. What's it called?
Something along those lines. I know what you're talking about.
Luigi logic. Is that what? No, Luigi's idea mechanic where Luigi suddenly gets clever off the wall brainstorming. I kind of like that as a final smash as opposed to the Wonder Seed, I'll be honest, but I don't think we need to do that per se. I just don't know how else you contextualize this. Unless we change his up smash from the head thing to him holding up the L. Like this.
That could work. I do like that.
Where he does the little pose and he can literally give his opponent the L. I think that's going to be real nasty, but I kind of like it.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Just to piss people off. Forward throw. Back air. Forward air. Up air. I mean, a lot of the air moves are strange. I'm just trying to think of like what we could add to that just from a design standpoint. Because I think them accomplishing the same thing is fine, right? Neutral air being a hitbox all around you, up air being up, forward air being forward, etc.
If we want to incorporate Mario and Luigi at all, we could make his forward air like a hammer.
That's true.
Doing the fist move.
Yeah, I don't dislike that idea. Because you would think if we were doing this like 3 years prior or whatever, that would be such like okay, yeah, I'm sure they're gonna do that. But it seems like they have a vested interest in Mario and Luigi. I know that Luigi and Mario and Luigi are like different characters, I guess, but oh yeah, okay, wait till you see this image. Hold on. This like that's really good, and it spikes I like that a lot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like
That's
that
awesome.
could work as a forward air.
I like that idea a lot. I love that Luigi idea. Can we just for the up air and down air? Well, is there anything that we can contextualize? Because the down air is a multi-hit. Is there anything we can do with the Poltergust that would beget that?
I kind of like the down air. I can't lie.
Interesting. Because the thing about the Poltergust is it blows and it sucks and it's got the plunger. The plunger is here. It doesn't have any of the blowing and suckage. It just is doing that. Do we want to do that with this? Like have him shoot the Poltergust behind him and above him just to have it as a part of the animations?
I kind of don't want to overdo it.
I see,
I was
okay.
gonna say, we maybe don't want to overdo it with the
Because it is in all the grabs. The plunger specifically is the grab and the throw. Is there anything more that we could do with this? Or have we capped out on our Luigi?
So this is like, this is a very cracked idea.
Okay.
Because this just popped to me. And I don't know how I feel about it, because right now we have a pretty good arm to leg ratio.
Mm-hmm.
But if we wanted to, we could make his up air the fucking volleyball like serve from Mario Sports Mix.
Interesting. Like he sort of does the Wii Fit Trainer where the ball bounces and has a hitbox.
Kind of, yeah.
I will say that, like, we probably should change the up air to something. He's doing this weird Sonic Adventure pose. Like, I don't think he does that in anything else. Let's see.
Like, that's just what I was thinking off the top of my head. Like, you can make him, like, do, like, a little volleyball serve thing, and, like, he kind of, like, puts his fist together and then goes up like that. Like he would do in the Mario Sports Mix games.
Right. An option. Yeah, a lot of...
Well, no, I literally just thought of it because it's so dumb. But at the same time, I mean, if we're already taking stuff from like Mario and Luigi and Mario 2, might as well just like, you know.
Can I also, just because I'm looking at renders, as opposed to his down smash being him ducking and then sweeping the leg, what if he does a little one of these, like he's trying to avoid getting hit and he just stomps all around him?
Ooh, I like that.
I kind of like that.
Because it lends to his cowardice. And I think that's what like, outside of... The way his moveset was in, like, Brawl and Melee, and even, like, 64, he was basically a Mario clone. He was a Mario clone. But the dash was always this, and I think this always nailed his characterization of being a coward who fights through it anyway. And I think the dash is, like, that being a part of it is important as well. This up air is bugging me. I guess we could do volleyball. How do you feel about volleyball, Switchy?
I'm fine with it. I can be convinced, yeah.
We'll do a little Luigi spike. Well, actually, so it's going... So he throws the ball up?
Like when you hit a ball back, you kind of like put your fist together.
Oh, and okay. Well, it's called like a volley, like right?
Yeah, like a volley. I don't know why I said serve. I meant to say like a volley, yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to find... If I just look that up. This is a tough image to find. Oh, wait. No, it's not. Okay, well... Pretend this is Luigi. Hold on, wait. Let me see if I can fix this, don't worry. Hold on. Nope. Hold on. Wait. Adjustment, color balance. I just did that. Okay, hold on. Adjustment, hue saturation. Here we go. Perfect. That's exactly what he looks like. Okay, there we go. Up air, Luigi, volley. I like that. Is the ball a part of it, or is he just doing it with his hands?
You don't have to make the ball a part of it.
Okay.
I was thinking just with his hands.
Yeah. Well, I think this is solid. I think we remove the bits that like aren't strictly Luigi. We keep the neutral special, but I think making him his own character distinct from Mario. Because, you know, you have archetypes. Like you have Falco still, while being a little bit different, controlling like Fox. But it's not like Fox and Falco have their own individual games. They're from the same game series. Luigi having his own game series and being differentiated. It's the same thing if like Wario was a Mario clone. Like we have to differentiate a little bit because it reps its own thing. I think honestly,
Wario is already like in a very interesting position just because he already has a pretty unique moveset.
Yeah.
Like I think at this point, it's not Wario from Mario, it's Wario from WarioWare, and also, say Wario Land, but honestly, there's not that much Wario Land in there.
Yeah, there's a little dash, but how many Luigi's Mansion games do there have to be for Luigi to be categorized as his own series? Or does it not matter because the Wario and Donkey Kong we see are specifically outside of Mario designs?
I don't know. It's weird. I feel like there's. It's so hard to really narrow down why Donkey Kong Country isn't considered Mario, but like Luigi's Mansion is. It's really, I feel like Luigi is just too involved in Mario that it's kind of hard to like treat him as like a separate franchise. But I mean, you could argue something about Yoshi. It's weird.
Isn't Mario in all the Luigi's Mansion games? I know he's in 1 and 3.
He's in 1 and 3. I don't remember if he's in 2. That's part of it too, I think.
Know. Right, he's rescuing Mario. So that's, I guess it has to be a Mario.
Is Mario in Princess Peach Showtime?
No. None of the other Mario games
are. He's not.
Outside of the
that's like low key. That's like a low key game. Like that's like low key like a thought
Peach
experiment.
Peach could be repped by her own
like,
brand. Yeah.
Like when does Peach get her own game? Like her own franchise? Like.
I mean, once we get to Peach, we're going to have a lot of mileage out of that one specific game. But it sounds like, for the most part, that we're done with Luigi, right?
I'm fine. No,
I'm happy with this.
Well, then this is very exciting because, I mean, as fun as that was, that means next week we are going to get into the Earthbound character nest. And I am a complete LARPer with the Mother franchise. So, we'll see if that even needs to change at all. I'll be interested. We really need Switchy for that episode for sure. Another classic Switchy idea.
100%.
Well, that means that we are then entering the final segment of our supposed regular show where we watch a different Nintendo Direct every week. Last time we left off, it was a mini Direct from July 18th. And now that we're here, this is actually kind of fortuitous that this is August 7th. So this is 13 years and a handful of days. Yeah. Were you guys ready to jump into this Direct?
Let's do it.
All right, let's see what we got. I'll see what happened. I'll check over here the difference between July and August.
Everyone,
oh, shit, there he is.
And thank you for joining us today. This is Satoru Iwata from Nintendo. Today, I'd like to deliver directly to you updates on upcoming Wii U and Nintendo 3DS titles.
Okay.
I would like to begin by discussing a few games being created by our third-party partners. Let's start with Sonic Lost World for Wii.
When they got locked into that Wii U contract.
Initially announced in our Nintendo Direct
I think that the
prior to E3 in
Is
May.
this correct? Yeah, there are still
one of the big features
the
for
previous
this
Direct and this one.
Sonic will see through a variety of levels and explore massive mind-bending courses.
4 Wii games released, and there's only one more Wii game after that.
In the sky,
I don't know what. Oh no, these are Korean releases. Okay, so 3 games released. Those being.
With free speed
nope, that's not correct either. That's all this is wrong. Ignore what I just said.
Sonic more freely, making the game more engaging for players of all skill levels.
Okay, North America.
Other new moves,
Fire Emblem Awakening came out earlier this year, as did Brain Age,
and running along
and Animal
roads,
Crossing New Leaf,
plus unique color powers,
and Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Gates of Infinity, and Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, and Lego City Undercover, The Chase Begins, and the Deadly Six. Right, they can't use the alliteration.
Can communicate with each other.
This is the first new Sonic games in a while. Connection. At least since the previous game that didn't do very well.
Allow players to create and customize radio-controlled vehicles.
And it's the first like 3D Sonic game post-Generations, right?
The Wii U version of the
and this game, by the way, fucking.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a real shame to Valley.
One of the worst games on 3DS.
It's interesting that this is like sort of mirroring the Mario thing, where holy shit, that the Mario games around this era, I never had an NES or Super Nintendo or anything like that, but I would watch people online that grew up with them, so I thought the retro stuff was cool. So seeing like the Raccoon Leaf and the Tanuki power up, I was like, whoa, just like Mario. Seeing Reznor, and it's interesting that Lost World also did that. That it is a traditional 3D Sonic game with 2D aspects, but it also uses art that makes it sort of modeled after classic Sonic. It seemed like they were trying to go more into the classic of it all. By the way, I fucking love this game. This is one of my favorite games. One of the best 2D platformers, if not the best 2D platformer.
Of each legendary
God, I hope the remake or whatever does
the game features
well. I hope it's a good remake.
Yeah, it's like a Spyro situation where, yeah, I think they literally said if it sells well, they'll make more.
And rhythm-based stages.
I actually never played Origins, so I'm looking forward to doing that.
Oh yeah, it just comes bundled in, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if stuff came out between directs. It is only a month gap, to be fair. Okay, it seemed like nothing there.
Wow, you can control the game from your Wii game.
I actually didn't know this. I guess that makes sense with a lot of the I never even thought about that. But yeah, there's a lot of like mechanical stuff in there that makes a lot more sense if it was planned for the Wii U. Of course, yeah, why else would you tilt? Because in the ports of this game, you just use, I think, the second stick to control the little fairy, if I'm remembering correctly.
All of the games.
I think you're right. I've not played this in a while. I was going to do a replay, but then they announced the remake. I'm like, I'll wait.
Right.
If you are playing by yourself, off-TV mode allows you to enjoy playing with only the gamepad.
And if your stupid family interrupts you when you're playing.
As you advance through the story, many of the stages from Rayman Origins become available.
Okay, so stages. I remember you could play Origin stages.
Rayman Legends has a lot of other new content for players to enjoy, including the Kansuit.
It is kind of funny they're doing Origins remake when
online challenge.
Origins is already in the game, kind of.
Yeah.
Also, in Rayman Legends.
Okay, this is August 7th, which means that in North America, Pikmin 3 did release between directs. That was the big thing. I think that is the only thing that released between directs, actually.
Rayman Legends will launch for Wii U on September 3rd.
That's soon.
Our next title is something we announced during our June Nintendo Direct at E3.
Yep, just Pikmin 3. So for those of you that wanted to know what was happening between directs, just Pikmin 3.
Called Art Academy
Now
Sketchpad.
we're caught up.
As we mentioned last time,
how many of the games that they've shown off this year and all these directs so far have you guys like played? Because I feel like there was an era where it wasn't really keeping up with stuff. Like with the Wii U, I had Nintendo Land and I got Wind Waker, but all this other like basically everything that was ported from the Wii U to the Switch, that's when I played it.
Will launch in the Nintendo eShop on August 9th.
I was a Wii U kid, so I mean, I had some of this stuff, but some of the other stuff I just didn't have. Like
Art Academy Sketchpad will launch after
the only, like other than Xenoblade, the only like
Nintendo eShop.
Wii U game I still haven't played on Switch is Pokken Tournament Deluxe.
Using this tool.
Yeah, that's the one game I don't have, and it never goes on sale. So I'm like, well, I guess I'm just never gonna buy it.
We'll also see if we can find a way to.
I'm gonna have to go back through these directs and see what games they covered that I haven't played.
Its users.
I forget what happened. We got to restart. We got to start over. Go back to direct number 1.
Yeah. Oh yeah, hell yeah, baby! More Dylan's rolling.
We are also developing
I think I have played that,
which includes in-depth art lessons.
Right.
But that one will take a little more time. Please stay tuned.
I mean, we're on like 20-something, number 20-something direct. So like, when did we started this earlier this year, right?
Yeah.
I gotta
Thank you, Mr. Iwata. Eric Peterson from the Treehouse here with some updates regarding Wii U and Nintendo 3DS here in North America.
They call it the Treehouse because there's a tree.
Pikmin 3 cropped up on store shelves and in the Nintendo eShop a few days ago.
See, that's why he never leaves
fans are
the
enjoying
building,
Mr.
is because
Miyamoto's
he's
latest
rooted into
creation.
the ground.
Today, we wanted to go into detail on a feature that lets you get a glimpse of what it's like to see the world from the perspective of a tiny Pikmin.
I don't want
Taking
that.
in-game screenshots
Sounds
of
horrifying.
Pikmin 3 and posting to Miiverse is quite literally a snap. Just touch this icon to switch to camera mode. Adjust the gamepad like a real viewfinder. Zoom in with the left control stick, and snap a photo with the ZR button. You can then post the pictures you take on Miiverse.
This guy looks scary.
Now, if you're new to miniature alien photography, here are some tips. Hunt down some unique vantage points, like the highest position on a map.
Did you guys play this when it launched in August?
Remember that Pikmin under your command will stand tall, but idle Pikmin will sit down. Or may even strike a pose.
No, I actually am playing this towards the end of the Wii U life
shots.
cycle.
Toss a Pikmin at creatures or objectives just before
I never finished it until it came to Switch.
Yeah.
Be quick,
I was
though,
deciding
'cause
between
you're
this
used
and Wind Waker
Now,
HD,
comparing
and I
billboards
chose
with
Wind Waker
Miiverse
HD
brands
as my
is
free
great, but
game.
You don't have to stop there.
Yeah,
Remember that
that's
whole
fair.
thing?
We're asking fans of Nintendo
I never,
on Facebook to
like,
get creative with some custom captions.
benefited
Look out
from
for
that
in-game
or
photos
got
that
in
we'll
on
post
that
on
deal,
Facebook.
but you've
And
talked
submit
about it
your best
before,
caption in
where
the
they were
comment
giving
section.
them away.
We'll be adding our
It was either
favorite
New Super
captions to the
Mario
photos and
Review,
sharing them for everyone to see.
Zelda, Wind Waker,
Pikmin 3 is now available in
Pikmin
stores
3, or
everywhere,
Wii Party
and in the
U.
Nintendo
And I
eShop.
feel bad for everyone who chose Wii Party U, unless
Now,
that's like
as
the
Nintendo
last
fans
game
know,
you just
the year
didn't
of
have.
Luigi
The
is
last
already
game
well
on Earth.
underway.
Oh yeah, we're still in
New
the year
Super
of
Luigi
Luigi.
U brought the green to the flat screen earlier this year, but I'm sure many of you
We
are
should have watched
wondering,
this before
what's
we did
next with the portable
Smash
Luigi?
Bros.
Green to the flat
Don't worry,
screen.
it's on the way.
That kind of hits. That's kind of
Mario and Luigi
fire.
Dream Team for
And
Nintendo
this is the new
3DS
game that
is
comes out in like
jam-packed with
4 days
Luigi
after
antics.
this direct.
And the sort of fresh ideas you'd expect from a game with his
Fuck,
name in
this
the
should have
title.
been his final Smash.
This time around, the
the
badges
thousands
you
of
wear during battle work in
Luigis.
pairs and can be combined for distinct
No
results.
way they would.
Dude,
reference
I
this
kind of
game.
agree that like they shouldn't lean too much on Mario and Luigi or the RPGs for like moveset inspiration, because like the Mario RPGs, you know, they're great, but they're not like the platonic form of Mario. The
Yeah, it's
platonic
like-
form of
Badges aren't the
Mario
only
is
way
like
to
running and
progress.
jumping, you
There
know?
are hundreds
The
of
thing is
new
that,
I think the
like,
hammer is like the
journeys.
perfect way to
Stat
like
boosting
represent
overall
it without
accessories that will
like
help your badge meter
going
fill
too deep
faster.
into it.
Well,
Each
like,
one lets you customize
Paper
the bros in different
Mario
ways to fit
looks
your own unique
different and
playstyle.
has a different title,
At first,
so
the
people
Brothers
can be
Mario
like,
start
"Oh,
off
I
with
want
2
Paper
slots each for
Mario
gear
and
items.
Smash like as
But
their
over
own
time,
character."
more slots can be
But
added
Mario
for
and
defensive
Luigi
gear,
from Mario and
which can
Luigi,
become more
despite
effective when you
ostensibly
level
being
up past
entirely
certain
different
benchmarks.
characters,
This is
don't
called
get
a
that
rank-up
luxury
bonus,
because
and it
they
really
just
changes
kind
up
of
the
look like
structure of the
Mario and
game.
Luigi, and they're just
They
like
look too
Mario.
similar.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
what would you call them if
And
you added
extra
them
stat bonuses
separately?
that
Mario
seriously power
Mario?
you.
Like that's it.
For added replayability,
I do like the
try
idea.
testing your
I've
skills
seen
on
like
a
a
series of
fan-made
challenges,
mod
like
of
dodging
them
10
being
attacks
kind
in a
of
row,
like
for
ice
instance.
climbers where they're
By
one
completing
fighter.
challenges,
But I
you can
don't
earn
think
some of the
I
most
think if they're
powerful
going to
gear in
add
the
a
game.
second or guess
So
a
keep track
third
of how
Mario
many
to
challenges
Smash
you've
Bros,
achieved
which
in
I
the
think he's
sub-menu,
earned. It
and
would
try
be
to
Paper
unlock them all.
Mario. I would much rather that.
Now this may
And
sound
I wouldn't
even
even. I've never really
but when
wanted
you play
Paper
the
Mario
game,
and
it's pretty
Smash
easy to
Bros.
get into.
Like,
for one thing, Mario and Luigi
I think it's
Dream Team
different
isn't
enough
just a
both in
role-playing
art style
Its kinetic,
and
action-heavy
like
gameplay
the way
will
they
instantly
fight
remind you
and
of
the
Mario's
different.
classic platform.
I almost said minions.
Dodging
the different
enemy attacks and
companions.
dishing out damage requires quick reflexes, as well as expert strategy.
See, this
Definitely a
game
challenge,
understand.
but
People
fear
don't
not.
like this game,
Should
right?
you fail in battle, a hint block will appear if you
It's
choose.
not
Pretty new to the
people's
Mario and
favorite.
Luigi
It'll give you tips and
right.
tricks on how to
I mean,
survive
this
the
game
next
at
time
least
around.
has the luxury of
I hope
actually
for
making
Luigi's
Mario
sake,
and
it
Luigi
doesn't
set
come
to
to
A
that.
and B buttons,
He's
as opposed to
sensitive
Brothership,
That
which has them both
always-
set to
As
A.
we already announced, Mario and Luigi Dream
Always
Team
pisses
is
me
launching in
It's
North America,
strange.
in stores, and on the Nintendo
I
eShop
do
just a few days from
also
now on August 11th.
I said this before. I
The
think but this
Pokemon
game has
series
a
is soon making its debut on
terrible
Wii U with Pokemon Rumble U,
tutorial.
coming exclusively to the Nintendo eShop this month.
I think this is the first time they've
Pokemon
shown this
Rumble
off,
is
so I
a
don't think I
series that has
talked about it
previously
yet.
appeared
But
on Wii and
Pokemon
Nintendo 3DS,
Rumble U. This
and
is
it delivers
2013,
over-the-top
so I'm a
action as
good
players
3
do battle
years into
against
my
waves of toy
Skylanders
Pokemon.
obsession. And I had got
In
Disney
Pokemon
Infinity,
Rumble U,
and
you will
I
have the
think
opportunity
Lego
to
Dimensions
befriend
was
some
like
of
a
the
couple
Pokemon
years
you defeat
separate.
in battle.
And I had already played
Different
the
types of
3DS
Pokemon are
version of
different
Pokemon
strengths,
Rumble
weaknesses,
U.
and moves.
Because when you have
So
a
players will have to
3DS
think
and
of
there
which
isn't a
Pokemon to
Pokemon
use in the
3DS
game's
game yet,
70
it's like a
stages.
launch title, and I
You can
wanted
play as and
Pokemon
do
on my
battle against
handheld, so I
every
played
one of the
that game.
649
This game
Pokemon that have appeared in the video game
uses
series,
the
Pokemon Black version
Skylander
2
and Amiibo
Pokemon White
NFC
versions.
figures
And there are
that you can
hundreds of
place
moves to
on
master.
your Wii U pad.
The game even supports
to use
cooperative
in game,
multiplayer
and I
action
imagine
for
they'll
up to
show it
4
off here.
players,
And
making
one
its
of
frenetic
my
action even
proudest
more outrageous.
possessions, even though people don't really care about
Pokemon
this
Rumble
game,
U
is
also
it
lets you
worked
bring
as
the
sort of
game
a
into the
gotcha
real
set,
world.
right? There's the
Collectible
little
NFC
figure. I think they
figures
had like
that let you access
24
toy
of them
Pokemon
maybe,
with
and
special traits in
GameStop
the
would
game
have
by
these little
scanning them
boxes,
with the
these
Wii U
kiosks,
gamepad.
and they were each like
You'll be able to
$1
purchase
maybe.
18
Yeah,
different
18.
figures
Right, they were only
exclusively
at
from
GameStop.
GameStop stores once Pokemon Rumble U launches.
And they were each like
These
$1.
NFC figures are
So
not
I
required
went
for you
in
to
and I'm
see
like, oh,
everything
can
the
I
game
just
has
have
to
one of
offer,
each?
but are a fun
And
way to interact with your
while
Wii
I
U.
had those $18, they
Pokemon
were like,
Rumble
do
U
you just
launches Releases
want the whole
exclusively in the
box.
Nintendo eShop
So I
on
have the
August
full
29th.
GameStop display
Now for
with
a
all
few
the
Nintendo
Pokemon
3DS
in their little
announcements.
plastic Pokeballs.
As owners of the
It's,
handheld,
you know, it'd be
the
cooler
3DS
if it was
has
a
a
cooler
number of cult
game,
classics
but
that have been
that's
brought back to life
I
on the small
really
screen.
loved Rumble U
Like
because
Shantae,
for that
a Game Boy Color game
Shantae, for that
notorious for being
3-year
hard to find.
period, I was really
And
into
now,
Rumble
another hard-to-find
games, and
title
then
will
they
soon
I don't
just
think
be
they
a
ever
download
made
away.
another one.
It's called Summer Carnival '92.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of forgot how
It was
ugly Rumble
originally
U
designed
looks.
for a game
It
jam.
is
Well, I
a
mean,
very
all the
ugly
Rumble
game.
games look like
In the
that.
summer
The
of
idea is that like
1992.
they're super
The original
polygonal.
cartridge
I mean,
Yeah, but at
is
least on the
incredibly rare.
3DS,
And the game
like,
is known for
it
pushing
can
the limits of the
pass.
Famicom system.
It just
by
looks
keeping a
really bad
smooth
on
frame
Wii
rate,
U.
Yeah,
even
in
when a
universe
ton
they're
of
like
sprites are
supposed
moving
to be
around on
toys.
screen.
Actually, did they make
More
any
than
more?
that, it's remembered for being one of the most challenging shooters ever created.
Oh, Ikaruga.
What is this
So
about?
if you think you have what it takes,
No, I
look
don't
for it in
think
the
so.
Nintendo eShop on Nintendo 3DS.
What the fuck is this?
You won't have to wait long.
Summer
It's Summer
Carnival
Carnival
92.
Earn
92.
you some instant gamer cred.
Okay,
What does
Rumble
this do
was
with
on
Shantae?
More retro
WiiWare,
classics headed to
Rumble
Virtual
Blast was
Console
on
service on
3DS,
Nintendo
Rumble U was
3DS.
Wii U,
Like the
Rumble World was
original
3DS,
NES
and then
version
there
of
was a
Donkey
mobile
Kong.
game.
Donkey Kong will do his own
I forgot
version of
about
the
those last two
World Time
War
next
Rumble
week on
games.
August 15th.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I didn't play them. I played
Just
the
in
one
time
in
for
11
football
and the one in
season.
13. Didn't even know. I guess I can't play
Tecmo Bowl
Pokemon
will
Rumble,
kick off
the
this
original
fall.
now, because it's.
But let's not get ahead of
rare.
ourselves. Before you tackle Tecmo Bowl, Game Boy Color platformer Wario Land 3 will
Oh,
have the
okay.
Nintendo 3DS eShop soon. Wario's third solo outing was a big game for its time, with unique daytime and nighttime versions of more than 20 levels.
The
Music
best
box.
Wario Land game.
Master all of
quite
Wario's
colorful.
abilities and transformations to help him on his greedy quest for loot. It may not be a
It's
noble
very good.
ambition, but you'll definitely feel,
It's a Metroidvania Wario Land
3
game.
launches on Nintendo.
I think I
eShop.
did
Not
try playing
terrible
it.
like Wario Land 2.
But I got super lost.
Last
in
but not
it.
least,
Yeah, I think
Super
that's
Mario
it.
Bros. 3 will be
Oh!
available for download on Wii U and Nintendo 3DS from the Nintendo eShop later
This
this
is where
year.
they announced it's
We
probably
want to make
has
sure
the
everyone has the
E-Pass.
opportunity to
I
experience this
played
timeless
this
video
on
game adventure.
Wii, and I
Whether
remember
you're
it being
revisiting the
this
game
dark.
or playing it for the first time.
It is.
We have
it
more
is
3DS
this-
games
it's so
to get
bad.
to.
Why
But
are
first,
they really
here's
dark
a
on the
crash course
consoles,
on
or
the
at least
recent
on
Street
Wii
Pass
and Wii U?
upgrade to Nintendo's own location.
I think it was just
Thanks to the
not,
August 5th
it
system
must have been
update
like
for
to
Nintendo
not have like
3DS,
a
it is now possible
screen
to have
flash
Street
or
Pass encounters
brightness
with
thing.
other
You know, like
players
an
in
epilepsy
Nintendo's
thing.
own
It's
locations,
kind of like when you're watching
even if they
anime and
aren't
then all of a
physically
sudden
there
there's
when
like
you
one scene that's
just
like
as we
very
described
like
in our
slowed
Nintendo
down.
Direct
dark.
Mini a few weeks ago.
I will
The
say
more Nintendo's
also,
own
I
locations
guess
you
I
visit, the more
forgot,
opportunities you'll have to Street Pass with
well,
other
if
players.
we did this, it was last.
Speaking of Nintendo Zone,
yeah, last
we'll
week
be
I
distributing
released a
exclusive items
video
for Animal
between
Crossing
Switch 2
New
Ultras. I
Leaf
forgot
at
to
all
mention
Nintendo
that.
Zone locations from August
And
through late
it is
September.
fully.
The
It
first
took the
item is a
Chowder
pumpkin
video
pie.
30
You can get yours
days for
starting
them to
August
lift the
11th.
claims because I
Simply go to
combated
an
them.
official Nintendo
But this
Zone
one they
location,
lifted them
start
immediately,
up your
so it's
Animal
fully
Crossing game,
monetized.
and
Dude,
then
I've had
But-
that before. Like I remember
You can
like
ask
one of
about
my
presents.
Total Drama videos.
sure
Like
to
they
save a
lifted
slice
it like
for
a couple
Isabella.
days after.
Yeah,
I
the Total
disputed it.
Drama ones they
Looking
lift it
ahead to
right away because they
2014,
know they don't
it's
got a
never
leg
too early
to
to put
stand
your thinking
on.
caps on in preparation for the next Professor Layton
But
game.
the YouTube
Most recent
the
Layton
YouTube version
trilogy
is
began
slightly
with Professor
different
Layton and
from
the Last Spectre,
the one
which was
that's
followed
posted on
by
Patreon.
Professor Layton
Because
and
for
the
whatever
Miracle
reason,
Mask.
only
Now,
Schnitzel
the final
Quits
chapter is
got
coming
blocked
to
like
Nintendo 3DS in
globally.
2014.
So I just
Professor
slowed down the
Layton
footage
and
of
the Azrin
the
Legacy.
TV sections of that.
Puzzle
by making
lovers
them
and
still
gentlemen
full.
alike can look
That
forward
just
to this
reminded
one
me of
next
that.
year.
Interesting. I think sometimes it's like because like one of the episodes just in a different, I guess, bank of material or something for some reason. I don't know.
Well,
I've had similar things like that where only like one episode of a show is getting claimed and none others are.
Well, also sometimes it'll just use one episode as an example, and then you'll go and fix it, and then upload it again, and then it'll pick a random other episode.
Yeah,
and I was
noticed
really
that often,
worried that was
like-
going to happen, but no, it was just that one episode.
I've had that too, where it's like they only claim an episode once, no matter how many times
That's
you
all we
use
have
it.
for you today.
So usually, like, I'll have, let's say, for like a 13
Oh,
episode.
shit!
I'm sorry. As it turns out, Professor Layton will actually be appearing in two Nintendo
Joining
3DS
Smash.
games.
It's the
The second
crossover.
one is Professor Layton
Okay.
versus Phoenix Wright.
Did I never
versus
finish that game?
Together,
Dude, I
Phoenix
do
Wright
fake
not like
fan.
that game.
Certainly a pair to be
I just
reckoned with.
wish
So
if I was
please
more
keep
of
an
a
eye out for
Professor
this
Layton fan,
puzzling
maybe I'd like it
adventure in
more. I
2014.
think
I thought
it's
you
my
guys were
least
big
favorite
Layton
of the
fans.
series.
Or not Layton fans, Phoenix Wright fans.
I'm
right?
not a Layton
We're
fan.
big
I'm a
Ace
big
Attorney
Professor
fans.
Attorney fan.
You guys all up on it. How
It's
many Ace
not-
Attorneys
it's not
are
a good-
there?
There's 6
Including
main
this one?
series.
Okay.
Two prequels with the Naruhodo, and then there's 2 Edgeworth games.
there's
So at that point, you're already at 10. This
So I
is
know
11.
someone who's really excited about this, but didn't they released a trilogy on Switch recently, right? There was like a port or remake.
Yeah,
or
that was
something?
Apollo Justice, Dual
So
Destiny.
they did Apollo Justice trilogy, and then they did the Ace Attorney.
Oh, they also did Edgeworth. Yeah, I
Trilogy,
forgot about that.
which
Okay.
is important because the second game never got localized legitimately. So that was the first time it released in the U.S.
like
Which
it's
is
called
great because that game
Versus.
fucking rocks.
Professor
the second
Layton
game
versus
is
Phoenix Wright.
second.
They're like
investigation
homies
game
for
is, like,
most of
one
the game,
best.
I'm pretty
Right.
sure.
We have even
I mean, we
more
saw
to
them
They are.
standing next to each
Mr.
other.
Wada
The
has
cat's
a few
out of
other
the
things he'd like to
bag.
talk
They
about.
also
So-
kind of just make
Mr. Wada.
Phoenix an idiot in that game a little
Right.
bit.
Always
Next
gotta be.
are
I mean,
updates
well, how
on
does the game
two
play? Is it
upcoming
more like a
games
Layton game
in
or
The
more like
Legend
a
of
Phoenix Wright
Zelda
game?
It is more like a Layton game, but
Okay.
there
I'd
is
like
like
to start
trial
by sharing
sections,
with
but
you more information.
it
on
is
the
also
world
like-
that Link will explore in The Legend of
the
Zelda.
way the story plays
A
out
Link
is more like a
Between
Layton story.
Worlds for Nintendo 3DS.
Ooh. Link
Please
between
take a
worlds.
look.
So are all of
Games
the all
will-
the Phoenix Wright games playable on Switch?
Here you see
Except
I think
for the
so,
Layton
yeah.
rifles
crossover.
in gold,
Except for the what? The Layton
as
one?
well as another
Yeah, except for the Layton
rifle that
crossover.
I
is
see. see.
like
Well,
And I
that's
don't think that's coming because that's level
Whoa,
5.
what
That's
is
not
that
really
mysterious
Capcom.
dark
Present
Triforce?
courage, wisdom, and power.
Holy shit, a Zelda
And
game where you go to an
is one
alternate
of the
evil
key
world? That's
icons
crazy.
of
The Dark
Legend of Zelda
Force,
series.
the Anti-Force.
This shadowy Triforce suggests the existence of another Triforce in a different world from where Link lives. The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past was known for its gameplay style, where the player must travel between
It's funny
two
how much I
worlds.
don't like
One is a
Link
world,
to the Past and how much I think this might be my
and
favorite.
there's another
I
world
love this
Legend of
game.
Zelda
which
game.
features different
game
Well,
Wow.
because
sounds
unlike A Link to the
and
Past, you
atmosphere.
have all the weapons from the jump. You just choose which ones you want to
Of
rent
course,
if
in
you don't
this
want to buy
game,
them.
there is also
The world
another
Link lives in.
The world
Also, dude,
Link
owning a
lives in
3DS, and
is
if
the
you're like
same
someone
world
who grew up
as A
with
Link
the
to
Super
Past,
Nintendo, this must have been
but
the
the other
sickest shit
world
ever.
looks a bit
This and
different.
like Mario's New Super Mario Bros. 2, everything is a
Link must
Tanuki.
travel between the two worlds while
I guess
This
we-
is a chill ass game. I liked it.
I guess we sort of see that now, where this is 2013, and the Super Nintendo was. Let's see.
While many of the locations on the field may look similar to A Link
90,
to the
so it's
Past,
23
in both
years.
worlds, the core gameplay elements, puzzles.
Okay, I
and
was gonna say that's
dungeons
kind of what it's
are
like now, but I don't think that's the case. Well, 23 years ago was 2003. I guess we see the. I mean, ironically, the game they could reference for 2003 is fucking Mario Sunshine and Toadsworth, which they
Also,
specifically
this game
don't.
is set many years after Ganon was sealed in A Link to the Past.
I remember this was
Compared
around the
to A Link to the
transitional
Past,
period because it's before
A
I
Link
got Wind
Between
Waker
Worlds
HD that
takes
I had
place
only known Zelda
in the
as in contention with Smash Bros. As I do with all the Nintendo
That
series.
means
But
that
I
the
had been
main
watching
character
YouTube
is
for
not the
years
same
now
Link
and getting
from
into
A
like
Link to
people
the
covering Zelda games,
an
your normal
entirely
Bluetooth peanut
new
butter
Link.
gamer, and this was the my first
There are
actual
still
Zelda
several
game that I
months
picked up,
before the game is released.
and
I
I
remember
loved it.
being really surprised with how much I liked it. I think just because the 2D Zelda games are just so tight. Like
They're
there's
so
like
much
no
better,
frills.
yeah.
Zelda.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I like 3D Zelda too, but like 2D Zelda, like they don't fuck with your time. You know, it's just I don't know.
Unless
Next
your name is
is
Phantom
The
Hourglass,
Legend
then
of
they fuck with
Zelda:
your
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Wind Waker HD.
Dude, November is Zelda month.
In this title, you must control
The first Zelda
wind
month was
using the
2011,
Wind
right?
Waker
For Wind Waker, or
and
sorry,
travel
for Skyward
across
Sword.
the open world,
Dude, I don't remember.
Yes.
visiting various
Yeah.
islands. People from different
Adventure!
tribes
We'll get
live on
PBG on the
different
pod to
islands,
talk about it.
and you will encounter unexpected characters and unexpected locations. We hope you enjoy this open water adventure.
I see the
in a
argument with the
crystal
light
blue world.
bloom, but I still think this looks
At the same
fantastic.
time, when you go to
Yeah,
the
I still kind of like the way it looks. And I don't know. I mean, the fact that it has the speedy sail or whatever. Like, I'm kind of afraid of playing the original GameCube game.
Yeah.
Honestly, I might be able to handle it because it's been like 12 years since I played Wind Waker for the first time.
About 12
It's a shame
years.
there's only one version you
But
can
we
play on
think
the Switch
that
right now.
The combination of the
Yeah.
It really
unique
behooved
gameplay
them to port
mechanics
this,
from
but
the
I guess
original game
I
The
know.
GameCube.
combined with
I think we've talked
new
about this
HD
probably
graphics
before. I know we're repeating
feels
ourselves.
like
Do you think
something
they'll
completely
put Twilight Princess
The
on
adventure
the
has
GameCube
been
Online
vividly
before they
born
port the
from
HD
Wii
version?
with unique
I low-key thought they already did.
No, they haven't.
No, they just
yet.
did Wind
The
Waker.
only game that they added that they didn't originally
and
announce
plenty
is
of
Wario
optional
World,
activities.
Right.
which is crazy.
Well, what's next?
Also,
what would you guys
as we
want to
mentioned-
see?
Okay, I forgot. Twilight
Well, the
Princess
next one
HD
is-
was on the
we still have to
Wii U.
We still have to
Such
get
as
Colosseum.
fine-tuning the
Right,
collection
Coliseum.
events in the
I just mean
last
for
half
you.
of the
You
game.
know, if there's a GameCube
Faster
game
save.
you're specifically waiting for.
Well, I know we have
Wind
Air
Waker
Riders. I'd love to
action.
get Air Ride.
Right.
These are just
We gotta get the. I would
hope you
fucking
can
love to
enjoy
get
game
the
all
GameCube
the
Mario
way
Party
to
games.
the end
Like,
without
Yeah.
losing your sense
The
of
argument
fun.
is that like the Mario Party games on the Switch already like
Regarding
use
the
a lot of
series
those
timeline.
stages and characters,
The
but like
Wind Waker
you,
takes place.
you could do that
a
with the
few months
64
before
ones.
Ew,
Oh,
get it
Phantom
off the
Hourglass.
screen.
Phantom
Ew.
Hourglass.
Wait, why is this
Ew.
here?
He was saying that I think it takes place a few months before or after or
Okay.
something.
About how
Kill it.
Inca
For all the
and
people
Petra
who know
first
Phantom
met
Hourglass
each
but
other.
don't know Wind Waker.
That was like low-key
Phantom
me when I
Hourglass
was
became
7.
back then.
If
Yeah.
I remember
you
seeing
play
ads for
Phantom
Phantom Hourglass, but I was still too young to use the
we would
computer and like know what Wind Waker
definitely
was.
like to try this before HD version
God, this makes me
of
wanna play this
the
fucking
Wind
game.
Waker as well. The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker HD will launch this
Good game.
October.
Man, imagine if
As you
Nintendo's
may be
big
aware,
holiday game was
we
just a
are
remake
calling
of a Zelda.
2013 the year of Luigi.
I'm tired of
The
this.
year of
Already this
Luigi.
year, we have launched Luigi's
Dude, we
Mansion
just talked
Dark
Well,
about
now
it.
we can see if
for
Mario's
Nintendo
in this
3DS.
game.
Oh hell
and
yeah! It's the
New
worst
Super Luigi
one.
U for Wii U.
Oh
And
hell yeah! It's
there
the best
are
one.
Several
And he
other
crossed out the
games
bros.
featuring Luigi
Mario is no
that will
longer my
be
brother.
Released before the end of the year. Now,
Which
I
is all
have
of them
another
except
announcement to
Sunshine,
share about
obviously.
Luigi. Someone provided me with these
You can now
new
play
screenshots.
every 3D Mario game.
Someone
on Switch
provided
except
me
for
with
the
screenshots?
Wii Land.
These
Oh?
are screenshots
Right.
from Super Smash Bros. For Wii
Dude, we
U
ju-
and
this is
Super
crazy.
Smash
Right,
Bros.
the pick
for
of the
Nintendo
day.
Crazy
3DS,
timing. You could
which were
not
prepared by Mr.
time this
Sakurai.
any better.
Luigi
I like
has
that he
been
does the
a part of
snap with
previous
his
games
his
in the
fireball as
series,
well. They haven't
but
shown
we are
anything
pleased
other than the
to say
forward,
that
the sex kick. I
he
think we
will be
kept that actually.
included
We
in the
removed
new
that,
games.
but everything else is the same.
did
So
remove
we
that.
Our
focused on
final
the most
announcement
important
today
parts.
is regarding Animal Crossing New Leaf,
Okay,
which was released in June.
right.
Animal Crossing New Leaf was released at the end of 2012 in Japan.
I just saw what's
This
next.
past June, it
Jesus
was released
Christ.
in Europe,
Oh god, what's
Australia,
next?
and North
So,
America.
Wonderful
And
101
players
direct.
are born on a
Oh
daily
good, I'm
basis
gonna
20
have
minutes.
so
More
much
people
to say about
play
that.
using
Okay,
the
That might be
Think
the
of it.
one. That might be one of the
Tropical
only
Island
games that
might
is
have
worse
more opportunities
on Switch.
to interact with players.
It's weird that
from
it gets its
different
own. I guess it
countries.
was like a big Wii U
For
exclusive.
those of you around the world,
Well, I just remember the
who
big
are
thing with that was there was
enjoying
a
Animal Crossing
huge
games, we
like
decided
infighting
to
between
open
Nintendo and
a
Platinum
new Animal
because they wanted to
Crossing
port it to
series community
PC
on Miiverse
when they were doing
for Wii
Switch.
U to let you
And I
interact
don't. Did they ever
with
release
one
a Steam
another
port of that
more
or no?
I don't think so.
to
Wait, I can
celebrate
just check
this
right
new
now, actually.
community. The Animal Crossing
I have my
New
Steam
Leaf
page open on my
Town
phone
Hall
because I wanted to see if
Secretary
Disney
Isabelle
Pixar's Wall-E
has
was
a
on Steam
message
because I
for
wanted to get back
everyone.
into playing it. Evidently,
I think it
was.
is.
Yeah. What am I looking for? Yes. Wonderful 101
is.
remastered.
Okay, that's what I thought.
The demo's free. Oh, the plaza. Oh, is this what I think it? Yeah, this is what I thought it was. Ah, the new Animal Crossing. Well,
Hello,
no, sorry, this
I'm
isn't.
reporting from
Oh, but they're
Animal
using
Dude,
Crossing.
I literally
something different.
I literally
do remember
forgot
that,
about this
but it is
shit.
not.
I didn't even know you
An
could do
Animal
this.
Crossing version of Wara Wara Plaza.
This is something you could do, but
In
no one
here,
ever talks about it.
you
It's
can
not a
see
big
I mean,
deal.
people
various
for years
posts
wanted
about
a new.
what's happening in the town.
Wanted an Animal
Other
Crossing
Animal
game on the
Crossing
Wii
related
U.
messages.
That's the thing is like when
News
people look
about
back on the Wii U,
calendar
like it's
events.
specific
And
stuff like
messages
that, like
from
how there
other
wasn't a
Animal
traditional
Crossing
3D
fans
Mario,
from around the world.
wasn't like a traditional 3D Zelda
Also,
to the very
you
end.
can
They didn't have an
import
Animal
images
Crossing, like
you
it just
took
weird
in Animal
omissions like
Crossing
that.
New Leaf and design QR code patterns via your SD card.
It's
or
Smash Bros. Was
organize
split
them
between
in
the
albums.
handheld.
You can also post messages with
I
those
do
images.
like, and I think I brought this up with Smash Remix or Smash 64 Remix, that the 3DS models are unchanged, so they look
The
way
QR code
blockier
pattern
on the Wii U
posted
screen.
can be directly scanned and used in your Animal Crossing
Can't
New
believe
Leaf
we're almost
game
out of
too.
QR codes.
Additionally, by selecting your favorite animal
I guess we should have,
in the
because we
Animal
haven't
Crossing
seen any
Plaza,
Amiibo yet. I guess we should
you
have
can
expected
post
it.
about
Because
those
I didn't think
Amiibo's
about that.
2015, I'm pretty
For
sure.
like that
Or wait,
one,
no.
only
for
about
that 1 year period, there's an NFC
If you
mark
want to
on the
see
Wii U
more
pad
posts,
that you could scan
then
figures,
you can
but
jump
all you could
directly
use were
to
the
the
Rumble
Animal
U
Crossing
figures.
series
So I
community
remember at that
from
time I was like, oh,
Animal Crossing Plaza.
I guess they added this to. I guess this is an important aspect of the Wii U controller, the gamepad,
This
so that
is
you
a
could play
place for
Pokemon
Animal
Rumble
Crossing
U.
fans from all over the world. We hope you enjoy this new opportunity.
Yeah, of all the
I
things
forgot
they'd
about
shown, the only thing I
Interact
played
with
at the
each
time was
other.
Rumble U. I've since played Pikmin, but
Animal Crossing Plaza will
I didn't
be
even know
offered
about
as
this.
a limited
This is something new to me
time-only
altogether.
service until
I completely forgot
end
it
of
existed.
2014
I knew
on Wii
about
U.
this, but I also just
After
forgot
this
about it until we
Nintendo
just
Direct video
saw it.
concludes,
Like, I
it
knew this
will
was
be
a thing.
available for free to download.
Oh.
I don't think I ever used it though.
It makes me think of the fucking Smash reveal every time. She lives in the plaza. It's like Central Park. A bunch of people sleep there. Yeah, see, thanks
she's
for
not even
watching
clapping her
See You
hands
on the
for
Wii U.
At 7 a.m.
Oh, look.
Pacific time,
Wow, it's 7
we will
a.m.
have the wonderful 101
Wait.
Direct. We hope you will watch it to
No
learn
one's waking up
more
at
about
7 a.m.
I
for a
was gonna say,
wonderful
is-
101.
Turn off the
That's all.
George Lopez. It's time for the wonderful
I have to
101
say.
So
Switch.
wait,
Learn more
Eastern
about
time, that's
It's in
3
front of
hours
you.
before? Or 3? Hold on, wait. What
Yeah,
time?
so it's 10 a.m.
At
Eastern.
Pacific time.
Okay,
This is like
that
7
still
a.m.
sucks, but
California.
that's like, yeah. I can't
That's
believe
all.
they
Would've been like
still
10 a.m.
Early
for
for
us.
Yeah.
wonderful 101.
Thank you for watching this installment of Nintendo Direct. And I hope
really
to
excited
see
for that
you
wonderful
next
one-on-one
time.
direct next time. We have more stuff. Switch to Ultra will continue. We have weeks and weeks and weeks ahead of us. Like I said, in between installments of Switch to Ultra, I released the Big 3 video. I've been subtly worming the term Big 3 into all conversation for a year. That trilogy will conclude with a third video in August, but between installments of Switch to Ultra, Switchy, do you want to talk about any of the music stuff?
Oh yeah, I finished an album. Yeah, I'm finally done with that shit.
Woo!
Yeah, no, it's a couple songs I've been working on for a few years. Be found on Bandcamp, Susie Marie, all one word, .bandcamp.com. And also I'm finally working on the 16 video again, but it takes forever, dude. It's like 1 minute of finished video a day for me.
People
it sucks.
love 16.
Yeah, it's a good show. I liked watching it.
I hope that everyone makes a video about it before it ever gets to me. Like a little bit ago, I was like, oh man, like maybe I should just like up it because this video is never gonna reach that milestone. But I think I need to commit, even if it takes me like a decade. I'm committing to that because I had a very busy July, but now I'm back to work with the regularly scheduled program and working on several stuff throughout the year, and I'm excited to see what comes in the future. But what comes in the future is this is Switch to Ultra episode 60. This is a show that me and Switchy started all the way back in spring of 2025, and it was meant to usher in the era of the Nintendo Switch 2, and hopefully the Nintendo Switch 2 will have several more years ahead of it. Maybe like a whole 7-year span. Who knows? With the way video game consoles are going, maybe this is the last console ever for Nintendo. And we hope to see new Pokemon games and new Smash Bros. And a 3D Mario and Big Zelda, stuff like that. You know, all the important console stuff. However, when we first started the show, we would do it every Monday night throughout 2025, and in 2026 to continue with our now permanent, semi-permanent co-host, The Dan The Man Show, we moved it from Monday to Tuesday. But I believe, if I remember correctly, Dan, you're going to be busy for a while after this.
Yes, I am. I'm actually going to be. I will not be on the next few episodes. It will be just like OG Switch to Ultra, so it's going to be quite the shakeup.
Yeah, we're doing
kind of, not really, because it's like the original.
Well, we're doing a whole sitcom thing, like, oh, Big Brother goes off to college for a little bit. That storyline there. We'll see if me and Switchy can stop from killing each other in that allotted time. But what's the current schedule we're working with? I believe what we landed on is that for the next 3 weeks after this one, Switch to Ultra will continue on Tuesday. So the 11th, the 18th, and the 25th. And you'll be gone for all 3 of those. Right? That's correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And then we will shift the show back to, I think, did we land on anything specifically? We all want to do like Monday 4 p.m., right? Does that work for everyone?
Yeah, I think that's what we were deciding on.
Yeah. So August 31st, from that moment on, Switch to Ultra will be the domain of Monday nights. Again, I guess it's arguable whether or not it's night, but Monday again. So the upcoming schedule for Switch to Ultra, we got 3 more Tuesdays left in us, 3 Danless Tuesdays, and then we will all come back together in September, hopefully in time for a direct, with the show being on Monday, which potentially fits a little bit better. But at least for tonight's installment, that might be one of the last times I could say tonight. I have been your co-parent, BHultra.
And I have been your co-parent, Switchy.
And I've been your Funkle Dan.
It's going to be sad to see Funkle go. But now now Switchy gets to talk
Funkle
unbroken about Earthbound next week. Oh, dude, the one episode you missed last week, they showed off the Earthbound coming to Wii U. They had like a whole trailer for it in the direct.
Oh, fuck.
We were screaming at each other. We're like, yeah, like the one episode you missed. All right, well, I'm hanging up. I'll see you guys. Well, I'll see you, Switchy, next week. Later. All right, guys, you know the drill. Wednesday day, normal stream time, Total Tomodachi Island. Wednesday. Shut up.